Hello.
What up?
Hey guys.
What's up, man?
Skype told me to let everyone know that you are being recorded right now, which is like fine because we're always being recorded. So
Yeah, that's true.
Nice headband, Brandon.
it's the Ninja.
For
Just cuz.
all right,
In Paris.
Ninjas in Paris.
That's pretty good. What is that? That's not a beer.
No, it's a carbonated water. Stars.
Lucas, if you beat Alex in fantasy, we are the only 3 undefeated teams in Seth's league.
Podcast stays winning lately.
That's pretty impressive.
Shit,
I think
what the hell?
I got it against her.
Mine's still up in the air, but I have
No.
a good feeling about my chances.
You and I are both 91%, so
Glad you're
99.
blowing out Jordy.
That's what
Jordy's
I mean.
gonna be 0-2, that smug bastard.
that's
Fucking guy.
taking out Jordy is big.
I've been thinking I haven't been like 2-0 and like a powerhouse since I started this league, and I'm thinking about trying to take advantage of one of the 0-2 teams or Tyler because
Definitely. I
Tyler's
sent
just
Tyler
an
100
idiot.
trades.
he hates you though. He's
Yeah,
never
Tyler's
gonna
a
trade
rat
with you.
bastard. He traded
is
with me once last year. He's such a rat bastard, and he's so dumb.
He is a rat bastard and he's dumb. Don't get me wrong. He's a friend of mine. He has been for years. Like he's helped me through some things. I love the dude, but he's kind of an asshole and he's kind of an idiot and he's kind of a bastard. But I love the
And
guy.
he's really bad at fantasy football.
I didn't know that.
Except he was like the best team last year.
Yeah,
I'm
until
glad
he had the
he's
best
in
record.
our league. It's a good dynamic.
It is.
It's a good wrinkle to have.
He's not quite the taco, but he's probably the closest we've got to it.
Did you trade Mike Williams or did you trade Christian Watson today?
Mike Williams, but I also got a second-round pick back.
Christian Watson in the second round in Dynasty? Okay.
I'm taking it because my team is ass, and you beat me, and now I'm gonna be 0-2. And
Yeah,
Trey
I might
Lance
be.
is out for this season.
Yeah, he's out for the season.
Oh yeah,
Surgery on his ankle.
I have
Yeah,
no
He broke
quarterback.
it.
probably out for the season.
No, they've confirmed out for the
They
season.
did?
Surgery on his ankle. He's gone. He
They did
broke the whole
surgery on a
thing.
tray.
He did surgery on a lance.
How we starting this bitch?
Ah, shit. I had an idea earlier too. No, I didn't. Never mind.
Audio test. Audio
You're
test.
such a
That
fucking
looks
liar.
Pretty good.
I thought I had an idea.
Yo.
Mike, check.
Fred drops dead. We just try and have a conversation, and Brandon can interrupt with annoying Fred-like talk.
So just the podcast?
Yeah, just what I do. That's great.
I think I'm usually the Fred in this
Yeah.
scenario, honestly. But that's not too bad.
We could all rhyme, because Fred and Dead rhyme.
That's true. We can only speak in limericks.
We could both weaker options, I think.
We could be like, "Oh my God, Fred is dropped dead," and we could pretend like this guy Fred just dropped dead in the middle of the street.
That's the best one.
A Fred has fallen into the river at Lego City.
No, I like Fred just in the middle of the street. Like we have to do a full like CPR. The scene is safe.
Wait, are we gonna save him though?
We're gonna try. We'll see where it takes. We're not gonna plan that out if we save him or not. That's improv, baby.
I don't want to save him though. I'd rather just have like a normal.
Well, don't say that.
Huh?
Don't say that.
That I don't want to save
We're
him.
gonna try and save him.
We don't want to be saved.
Oh, well.
Don't save him. What if we just had like
We
a
don't
normal
wanna be
conversation
saved.
and we're just like, oh, by the way, who's this dead guy on Brandon's floor or Lucas's floor or the third?
I mean, it'll take its. We'll find our way.
We'll find out. I'm gonna let you
We
guys
always-
take the lead, like always.
We always find the best path forward.
They're always the worst.
Life
All of our
finds a
intros
way.
are terrible.
Yeah, but they're human, right?
They're very
Yeah.
a little too.
Devin died of tetanus last week.
Yeah, what the hell? You did that. All right. Let's get into the podcast.
Oh my god. Okay. We'll just figure it out, I guess.
Hold on. How do
She's
I?
super shady.
He's struggling.
God.
How do I? Okay, there we go.
Fuck
I'm
it.
ready.
We'll do it live.
Fuck it, we'll do it live. Let's go, baby.
Bill O'Reilly style.
Ready.
You are ready, Lucas? I think he's ready. Are you ready? Let's do it. Alrighty. Oh, whoops. 1, 2, 3, play. Thanks for inviting us over, Lucas.
Yeah, of course.
It's nice,
This is
nice to just hang out.
Yeah, I didn't choose to be here, but Brandon said he needed a +1, even though it was specifically not on the invite.
It's like an RSVP, but sometimes you just bring one along.
Yeah, but the RSVP said don't bring a +1. It said exclusively that.
We invited you, Seth, but we knew you didn't have a mailbox after your feud with the post office, so we tried to deliver it by pigeon. Oh my God, that guy's dead.
What the hell is
that? Somebody's +1? Who is that?
Is this why you brought us here?
Dude, his name tag says Fred.
He's wearing it. What kind of function? Am I supposed to have a name tag?
Yeah, why does he have a name tag and we don't?
His skin is cold to the touch.
Should we save him?
His eyes are fluttering. Do you have anything to say, Fred? Oh my God, he was stabbed right in the neck.
Opioid overdose? Let's give him some Narcan.
No, he's been stabbed in the neck. He just said.
Let's start CPR then.
No.
Try and save him.
30
stabs.
Already
cold.
The scene is saved.
Oh my God, what's this note in his hand? Oh my God, should I read it?
Yeah,
I don't think
it's like his last private. I don't know. Should I read it?
I think you should burn it.
I think publicly out it. Yeah.
Tweet it.
Oh my.
Yeah, tweet it.
It says Brandon did me.
Oh no.
He did me. What does that even mean? Did he kill him? Did he just do him?
Did I do him?
Brandon.
Did I just do him dirty?
Fred, no! We loved you.
I knew him for a short time.
I didn't know him, but I did him. And that's all that matters.
Freddy got fingered.
Said Brandon is a racist and he killed me.
Jesus Christ!
All right, it's all coming together now.
No,
we tied up the loose ends.
I tried to do CPR.
Freddy got fingered by Brandon.
Five Nights at Freddy's.
No!
Okay.
No, I made that second note up.
Well, I think we also made the first note up as well.
What?
It was all improv. There's no dead man here.
How much have you been lying to me about these last few months?
You said you only knew Fred for a couple minutes.
Yeah, like from the time I saw him dead.
So I haven't been lying to you for months.
Well, about every episode, man, every week for months. You've been lying to me about one thing or another.
Like the Tesselman.
Oh my God.
You love the Tesselman.
You know what a talisman is.
I don't. I really don't know what a talisman is.
He doesn't.
That is kill confirmed here on the podcast. I promise you it is. I promise you.
Okay.
We'll see what the audience has to say on the polls.
Okay.
What's up, everybody? We're here. We're live. Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Bill O'Reilly style.
We're not live. But we got the trio here. We're missing DevBot again. Mitsyuk.
Yeah, he's still dead.
The immortal man. Drop Dev Fred. I don't know.
We did freeze him in some sort of carbonite / really cold industrial freezer.
Oh, did we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay, good. So he's okay.
On the technology to catch up with Dev.
Yeah. He's gonna be alive when he wakes up, but he's also gonna have AIDS as the side effect.
Yeah, being stuck in that carbonite gives you AIDS. And really late stage, like
it's been seeping into his blood.
It's actually from the doctor that came in and had his way with Devin in the carbonite.
Oh, Jesus.
With a needle.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say penetrated the carbonite
to get in there. Props to him, honestly.
Rock hard. So
the doctor just unfroze him for a little bit, injected him with AIDS, and refroze him.
They're like, "Hey, this is the year 2086," and he's like, "Sweet." He's like, "Yeah, you got AIDS. You got 4 days to live."
You can say he's got 4 different kinds of AIDS. We invented new ones to test out on you.
Test subjects in carbonite. What the fuck are we talking? Welcome everybody. This is the Good, the Bad, the Movies. I'm Brandon. Lucas and Seth are here.
And I'm Lucas.
and I'm the dad. And yeah, we watched a movie. Oh, we haven't done this in a while. I'm gonna ask you guys some questions.
Shoot, Tiger.
But I didn't think about it, and I haven't done it in a while, so I'm not stalling in a way.
Do you like grooming? Like
No.
animals, pets?
Oh,
of
sure,
sorts?
yeah.
Do you like redheads?
Sometimes.
Lucas? Of those two?
Not often.
What about the grooming part?
Nope.
Grooming pets is what he said.
Yep. Nope.
Oh, okay. Well, if you answered yes to liking grooming or redheads, you've come to the right place. Because this is the good, the bad, and the movies. And this week we watched Drop Dead Fred from 1991. Shout out to Mama Kay, Mother Karen Snedeker, Mrs. Brandon.
Does she like this movie a lot?
So she suggested it to me. About probably back in like January. She's like, hey, you should do this one. I was like, okay. Then I put it in for July, and then because we had so many birthday ones, we pushed it back to August. And then we had multiple birthday ones in August, so then we pushed it back to here. So we're finally squeezing it in. So this is for you, Mom. She said it's a bad, yeah. This one's for you, Pops. She says that she thinks it's a terrible movie, but she thinks it's so funny and thought that we just had to do it on the podcast. So 1991 film. Before we get into it, we're drinking beers.
This was a comedy.
Yeah. We're drinking beers, and I had Seth pick something for us.
And I had my roommate pick something for us.
Shout out Armando.
Shout out Armando.
Shout out JD.
Whichever.
Shout out Rat Boy.
Shout out Rat Boy for the third time.
We're getting a lot of shout outs.
That poor guy.
So we've shouted out Armando, JD, and my mom. What did JD pick for us today?
He picked, he'd never seen Drop Dead Fred. I just told him the name of the movie, and he picked out Super Shady Double Hazy IPAs.
From Kettle House Brewing in Missoula.
Yeah, I've never had these, actually.
And what made him think Drop Dead Fred means super shady?
I think it was just raw intuition, but it could have also been, like
somebody murdered somebody and they were drop dead, but he was just like...
Well, if you call somebody Drop Dead Fred, if you assume that's somebody's name, they probably got it. It's probably an ill-gotten name, you know? Like, they probably were a shady person to deserve that name.
Sure. No, that's fair. It's a double hazy IPA.
Yeah.
8.5% alcohol, 16-ounce cans, topically fruity with a hop forward and a bold taste. I haven't cracked one open yet, so let's hear this crack. No, that was just me. Sorry.
They know.
It's clean. Let's try this bitch. Oh, that's a strong IPA taste. Fuck.
Is it?
Oh, God. It's very IPA-y. That is, I guess that's why it's a double IPA. Oh, my God. Oh, I don't like these, but I'm going to power through. So, alrighty. Movie time. Lucas hasn't moved or hasn't said a word in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, I didn't want to break the illusion, but I did want to ask if he was okay.
He's dropped dead over there. Is he okay?
I'm fine.
Okay, thank God. Okay.
Vibing.
Vibing. Okay. Director today is 8 DeJong. Heard of him? Love him. He's done a movie called Blind Spot. He did Highway to Hell, All Men Are Mortal, The Rotterdam Bombing, Love is Thicker Than Water. That one got you?
A little bit.
And one episode of Miami Vice.
Sick.
And then a lot of like German TV movies and documentaries that I didn't write down. Nothing rings a bell here.
An outsider, it seems, especially to our perception.
Who wrote The Outsiders?
The wizard guy, right?
What?
Hinton? S.E. Hinton something?
The Hindenburg?
S.E. Hindenburg wrote The Outsiders.
S.E. Hinton does sound familiar.
S.E. Hinton, yeah, that's right.
What a genius we have on this show.
Thank you. He's great with literature. and history and sports.
Mhm.
Those are a big one.
And
When he-
women.
So good with women, it's crazy.
Trivia.
Women trivia. We destroy at women trivia. Are you okay, Seth? Spilt a little bit.
Yeah, I think I just spilled on myself though.
Oh yeah, right on that dick.
Yeah, a little bit.
Writers today. First one is Elizabeth Livingston.
Sounds fancy.
She's only written this. That's her whole IMDb is just Drop Dead Fred.
Hmm.
Another writer. There's
She-
3 of them.
Did she write the book?
I don't think there's a book.
I thought it was based on a story.
No,
A poem?
no. Why are you?
Google.
Another writer today is Carlos Davis. He did a movie called Rascals and Robbers: The Secret Adventures of Tom Sawyer and Huck Finn. So shout out for all you Samuel Clemens Mark Twain fans out there. And the only other credit he has, why are you
Shout
laughing
out.
so much?
There's literally dozens of us.
We did another shout out. And he also did the Hurricane Heist. That's all his things. Which I've heard
Sounds
of the
like a cool
Hurricane
movie.
Heist. Yeah, I've heard of it, but I don't ever seen it. But and then our last writer today is Anthony Fingleton. Yeah, rough name.
Just Fingleton. You put
Yeah.
anything before it.
He did a movie called Swimming Upstream,
Good name.
which I think is just about cum, probably.
What?
Yeah, they're swimming
Can't be.
upstream.
There's no way.
There's no way it can't. Like you're saying, 100% chance it can't be. With how
There's no way.
There could be a way. Movie about cum, and then he also did the Hurricane Heist.
Oh, a tandem. Maybe they fell in love.
Maybe they did. Anthony Fingleton and Carlos Davis. You find anything, Seth?
I guess you just wrote the story, and I assumed that meant there was like a kid's book about it.
No.
But I looked up Elizabeth Livingston, and at first it just gave me a surgeon in Idaho.
Good for her.
She's
Hope it's
more
the-
famous than the
Hope it's
person
the
that wrote
same
this movie.
or same person. That was her dissertation. That was like her paper she wrote to get her doctorate. Was Drop Dead Fred screenplay.
Terrible.
Dissertation on imaginary friend syndrome.
Ooh, would have been good. Who just moaned?
Who just moaned? Is that Alex?
No, what? That was me.
That was very female. No, it was,
Okay.
it was like a it was very
It was.
women like.
I'm sweating more than usual in this room right now.
That was me.
Close your legs.
I don't care
Seth.
who it
Close
was.
your
Really, I
legs.
can't. It's not comfortable.
Okay, and then we've got a cast today. Top build is Phoebe Cates.
I've heard of that name.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Yes.
Notorious boob scene.
Yes. A great comedy.
It is.
Sean Penn's first movie. And Nicolas
Did-
Cage's first movie.
Did you ever watch like the script reread where they did it recently, where it was like in quarantine, like a bunch of celebrities did it? And it was like Brad
Maybe.
Pitt, Julia Roberts, like I think Shia LaBeouf played the Sean Penn character.
I think so.
Sean Penn was still in it, but he wasn't. There was Jennifer Aniston. There were so many people in it. Another cast is Rick Mayall.
Check it out.
Check it out. Rick Mayall, who played Fred, rest in peace. Marsha Mason.
Wait, is
as
he
the mother.
actually?
Mhm.
Okay, we're not doing a bit.
No.
In
Dirty bit.
peace.
Yeah, we're gonna rest in peace.
Are we wishing him that?
Yes, rest in peace.
Was he a bad guy?
We're gonna get into
He
that.
made a bad
Oh.
piece of movie.
Oh,
That's to be debated.
he shouldn't not rest in peace because of that. I feel like Brandon has more info, maybe.
No, I don't.
Why do we not want him to rest in peace then?
He's saying just because of this movie,
Because
he
of
doesn't.
this
I-
movie?
Yeah, I
There's a
mean,
crime against humanity?
Yeah.
How nihilistic
It's like
of you.
it's like
insane.
Hitler, where they're like,
That's
"Oh,
not
ma-
Hitler.
No, that's kind of like what he's like. Oh, his actions in life don't deserve him to rest in peace. It's kind of like that. But it's just Rick Mayall for Drop Dead Fred.
You convinced me. Yeah.
You've also
Yeah.
got Tim Matheson, and when I started doing the script, I thought it said Tim Thomerson. I was like, oh fuck,
Mm.
Rick Bardo is back and better than ever.
Rick Bardo back better
Taller than ever,
baby.
unfortunately not.
And taller than ever. But
You've
is-
also got Carrie Fisher.
Yes, I have a great Carrie Fisher story, if we
Oh.
do tell.
Ooh.
Do tell right now.
She did date one of my classmates once upon a time.
That's right.
Did you
Yeah.
have an old
If you listen to the
classmate?
podcast, you
Brandon.
would know this.
I did. He was an actor who was in Seinfeld, and what else was he in? Animal House. He was in Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh, I've probably seen this guy.
He was pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
He dated
Like,
Carrie Fisher and Glenn Close.
that's awesome.
It's super cool. And this is like my 5th time hearing it on this podcast.
Yeah,
It
he was
blows me
Bob
away
Cobb
every
in
time.
Seinfeld. He was Niedermeyer, the bad guy in Animal House.
Wow. And
Yeah.
you went to like college with him?
Yeah, he came back and took some classes. And he was in my Woody Allen class. We shared a love of the Allen, of the Woodster.
The
Also,
Worcester.
rest in peace for a different way, Woody Allen, retiring from movies.
Yep, a lot of people will say he's a pedophile or a sexual deviant.
Yeah,
Or,
they will.
Yep.
Or sort of a predator of sorts, and they may be right, but Annie Hall we covered on this podcast, and we all agree was awesome.
So you are standing up for the pedophilic nature of Woody Allen, but damning. No, you're just like
justifying.
You're putting it past him, but damning Rick Mayall for the freaking role of Fred in Drop Dead Fred.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. Okay.
There's a lot of to still be decided about all of it.
Okay.
People are nuanced, Brandon.
Sure. So Carrie Fisher's in here. You got Keith Charles. You got Ashley Pelson, and Daniel Garol.
Is that French?
And Bridget Fonda as Annabelle, but she was uncredited.
But so hot.
Is that a relation to Henry or Jane?
I believe so. Yeah.
Of Fonda fame.
Nice alliteration. So that's our cast. And then a plot today is a young woman finds her nearly unstable life rocked by the presence of a rambunctious imaginary friend from childhood. Why are you?
I thought her life was more rocked by the adultery, more so than the guy, the friend.
What now?
It says her life was rocked by the imaginary friend that drops in out of nowhere. But, like, wasn't it rocked by getting fired and getting her car stolen and all the stuff that happens in the first 4 minutes?
Yeah,
before
for
him?
sure.
All right, I don't know why I'm getting mad already. It's way too late.
That's what Drop Dead Fred does to you. Now, I must admit that I think I've told both of you guys about this. I never heard of this movie. I listened to the How Did This Get Made podcast as well with Paul Scheer, Jason Mantzoukas, June Diane Raphael. And this was like one of my favorite episodes. So when my mom suggested this, I was like, oh, we'll do it. Because this movie was very divisive on that podcast, where 2 people were what they claimed Team Fred and 2 people were Team Sanity, where Team Fred thought that Fred was very supportive of Phoebe Cates' character and helped her grow as a person, and that he is not a living being, but her, basically, while Team Sanity thinks that the mother is the real kind of like hero, was a good character and whatnot, and Fred was a torment to her. So we can kind of dive into that in this as well. But we'll get into it. And then some history.
Yes.
Drop Dead Fred is a 1991 black comedy fantasy film directed by 8 DeJong, produced by Polygram and Working Title Films, and released and distributed by New Line Cinema. The film's screenplay was rewritten by director 8 DeJong and producer Paul Webster throughout pre-production. DeJong took inspiration for this in his writing from being molested as a child by his older half-brother when writing the movie, stating, in quotes, "The trauma of child abuse goes deep and its claws reach far in time. It was not something ever spoken on the set, not with Rick or anyone, but for me, it existed," end quote. Filming took place in August and September of 1990. Filmed in Minneapolis. A large part of Drop Dead Fred was actually filmed at Princess Paisley Park studios in the suburbs of Chanhassen. It had been the rumor since the film's release that Prince visited the set regularly, but Webster debunked this in an interview with The Telegraph in 2021. The only place filmed at the Paisley Park studios that's not a Prince kind of film.
A Prince-led production. I love Prince.
Yeah, Purple Rain.
Weird about the molestation subtext.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very weird. Seth immediately went,
Didn't really pick up on that in the film.
but more like the theme of trauma of child abuse goes deep and its claws reach far in time.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I just
I
didn't
could
get
see it a little bit.
I didn't get full molestation, but yeah,
Yeah.
I get the subtext of the trauma, childhood trauma.
So this guy was so traumatized he made Drop Dead Fred.
Exactly.
That's a dark person.
Wow.
You can't talk
did
about his
that.
skin color that way.
Okay, Brandon.
A little more history. Shortly after the film's release, writers Davis and Fingleton and producer Paul Webster began working with Polygram, Working Title Films, and New Line Cinema on a sequel, with Rick Mayall reprising the role of Drop Dead Fred. But Mayall declined to return in the role. So the sequel was reworked with a then unknown Jim Carrey in the role. But this version was scrapped both due to Polygram experiencing financial difficulties and Jim Carrey had signed on to do Ace Ventura: Pet Detective instead. However, New Line Cinema later used Jim Carrey the same year in both The Mask and Dumb and Dumber, so they got him in other things. But in the early 2000s, Mayall worked with both Fingleton and Davis on a proper sequel, though this sequel would not materialize due to Rick Mayall's declining health. In 2009, Working Title and Universal Pictures began working on an official remake of it with Russell Brand to star as Drop Dead Fred. However, due to the box office failures of the remake of Arthur in 2011, this project was scrapped.
Arthur?
Not like the whatever animal he is.
An anteater.
Anteater,
Was
that's
it a
right. I was
king?
gonna. No, not King Arthur either. It's my mom loves Arthur, and when she saw Russell Brand in the remake, she was like,
Arthur and the Invisibles?
"Ugh." Huh?
Arthur and the Invisibles?
No.
Russell Brand seems like the perfect recast of Drop Dead Fred.
Or Jim Carrey could have been
No, I have too much respect for Jim Carrey.
alcoholic billionaire playboy Arthur Bach must marry a woman he does not love, or he'll be cut off from his $750 million fortune. But when Arthur falls in love with a poor waitress, he must decide if he wants to choose love or money.
Money.
Boo.
I think that might be the new one. I look it up on IMDb and I can't even find this Russell Brand Arthur film. So it says a lot about Russell Brand and just the movie in general. Although it's his top one on IMDb. Drunken Playboy Stands to Lose. Yeah, so that's what it was.
Okay.
And that's my end of my history. So just a big bomb right in the middle of molestation.
Japan.
Nope. Good one though. A molestation and then some multiple failed attempts at sequels and remakes.
Yeah.
Fun stuff. Budget time. Guess it right now.
$14,000.
Wow, that's really low.
4.5 million.
Wow. 6.8 million. I thought it was 4.8 at a second. I was like, Lucas, you're like really close, but then I looked down and saw 6.8. You're still close, but
Failure. Fuck.
I'm such a fucking failure.
Failures.
How much do we think this made opening weekend?
$18 million.
Oh, okay.
1991?
91.
$3 million.
One of you guys is so close. It's 3.6 million.
Oh, he cheated. He's right there.
I cheated.
I have it
looked
pointed
at the
away from
screen.
him.
Yeah, Brandon's he's grown wary of my little tactic there to cheat and look at the screen.
Long arms over here, tall, lanky body.
Using my long arms to peek around his shoulder.
You got eyeballs in your fingertips.
I wish.
How much do we think this made U.S. and Canada?
$18 million, Brandon.
Together. 18. You're sticking with the same.
18.1.
Calling out.
13.9. Lucas is our winner today. And worldwide.
Mister
$18 million, Brandon.
Dr. Worldwide. 18.1, yeah. It's calling to me.
13.9.
Fuck.
Didn't make anything outside of the U.S. and Canada.
What the hell?
Not even Britain supported their boy.
Yeah, that's my first note is why is he British? Was it banned everywhere else?
I don't know.
What do you mean? It didn't make like another penny outside the U.S.
A
and
pretty
Canada.
penny.
Could have been.
6.8.
A hay penny.
Are we saying it should have been banned other places?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
I'm all for censorship, Brandon.
I think we
know
see
how
where
I
the
feel
lines
about
are drawn
censorship.
in this.
Well, at some point there's art, and at some point there's farce,
Crime.
and then there's whatever this is after the fact.
What do you think it is, Brandon?
I think it's art.
It's not
Art?
farce. Or so you're pissing him off.
I think it's art.
Lucas, I also think it's
Drop
art because
Dead
I think
Fred.
technically everything is art.
I'm not doing that fucking bullshit.
No, I'm doing it for you because you won't. You're a coward and a sham.
I'm not saying that everything
of a
is art
man.
here. I think that the movie
Everything is art.
genuinely has
Art?
Yeah, there's
artistic-
bad art, Lucas.
you-
There's bad music. You can not like fucking Conway Twitty and it's still music even if you hate him.
Mr. Conway Twitty. I forgot about that.
I don't know why that's the first thing that popped
I
in my
think this
head.
movie genuinely had a great direction going for it with a theme of psychology and whatnot.
The theme can't be psychology and whatnot.
No, there's a great theme and it's projecting psychology.
You're not gonna sway him.
I'm not trying to sway him.
next?
I see
I'm
what
just
you're
point-
saying. Yeah,
We gotta get past
This
the budget.
psychology and other stuff going on.
This movie has a great theme of psychology and whatnot. Imagine putting that in a paper.
What my friend Ratboy is a minor
Oh,
in
shut out.
yeah, shout out. He is a minor in philosophy. He says that philosophers, when they're trying to sound smart, they say what is it? Like into such as or in for such as. I don't know. It's like 4 words that all mean the same thing that they put in the
Here
same
to after.
something like that.
Ostensibly.
Yeah, exactly.
That's ours. That is ours. Or we're just trying to sound smarter.
Yeah.
We gotta get
Ostensibly
past
postmodern.
Well, it has this intrinsic values in it.
I hate Sussex House. We gotta get past the budget. We're not even in the movie yet.
6.8. We're doing actually pretty good on time for once.
Are we for
Yeah,
once?
$6.8 million budget, 13.9 worldwide. So it didn't really rake in much, but I guess it was in the positive. So that's what we got. And I've got 5 taglines for us.
Oh man, can't wait to read them all in the same monotone voice.
Tagline City.
More like tagline town, tagline metropolis over here.
I think the first one might be my
Tagline
favorite already.
city, population 5.
Pop Tropica. First one's the population 5.
Thanks.
It was a late bloomer.
Popping.
The very first one has to be the best. Imagine having this guy for a friend.
I was trying to figure out a way when I typed that to like make
You know I'm gonna do it.
to
though.
make that like little thumb this guy, but I couldn't, and I was
That's
like,
why I read the tag.
you knew.
Freddie.
He makes the trouble, she takes the blame. Probably objectively a better tagline, but third one's good. Let him out.
let him
out.
I knew you were gonna
Exclamation
love
point.
let him.
That's
let
the
him,
next one.
Let him out.
That's the third one.
I think it's like exclamation point at the end.
Yeah.
Each word starts with a capital letter and exclamation. Let him out.
Let Fred out.
good. With imaginary friends like this, who needs enemies?
I don't like that one.
That one's not art, I'm gonna say.
Bad art.
Bad art.
Go sit in the corner, Art.
Time out.
Arthur.
And this
Oh.
this last one. Dishes, relationships, wind. What do these 3 things have in common?
What?
This guy breaks everything. I put in that one part. They don't have anything in common. It's dishes, relationships, wind. This guy breaks everything. Which I
What?
think in a movie, it would make more sense if you saw it in a trailer and like the end, the narrator voice says that. It's probably a decent tagline, but on a poster,
Bad.
what?
Insane.
What is we've got 5 here to choose from. What's our favorite?
It's either the imagine having this guy for a friend, like a little cheeky, like, hey, this fucking guy, or like, let him
I
out.
like that one.
Which one?
With
Let him
Fred
out.
on the post. No, the first one. And Fred's in the poster, and he's like, "Ah," you know.
That's perfect.
This is definitely like what late 2000s NBC comedies where they have at the bottom they have the little graphics of the people standing back to back.
Yeah.
Like that's what this tagline does for me. Like that classic Family Guy.
I
joke.
think the best one is the he makes the trouble, she takes the blame. But yeah, imagine having this guy for a friend.
So good.
Best one.
That seems like something I would say. So yeah. Or let him out. I might scream that.
Any taglines of our own we want to make? Like drop dead art.
Wish he could drop dead again.
Ooh, that's decent.
For Lucas, maybe.
This imaginary friend just made things real.
Ooh,
Oh,
I'm not.
Yeah.
That's really good, actually.
Yeah, I was losing it for a second there.
Lose yourself
in the music. Yeah, that was good.
That
might be like maybe the best tagline we've ever come up with on the spot.
That's super good.
Yeah.
Or the Devon one with the
Do
Jafar.
you work for Hallmark? Jafar. Okay,
Could have seen this coming from a Jafar.
Fred's
away.
dead. The ex is wed and no longer in bed.
Are you just trying to do a slicer dicer, neither of them are nicer thing?
Kind of with the rhyming. I think that was our better one. Let's just go with that.
That's
one.
the word.
Let's go with the second one. Yeah.
No.
I thought he was just overwhelmed by the compliment I gave him and was trying to make the worst tagline on the spot.
But it was still art. Is what matters.
Bad art.
Okay. That's taglines. We're gonna do our facts today, our cat's facts. Fred facts.
I thought we were gonna skip that.
Yeah, I did too. I thought we were going straight to the movie.
Movie. Drop dead facts.
Is this the part where I need to shut up?
Event. Yeah, shortly in here in a minute. Do you want to do Fred facts?
Shortly here too after.
Drop dead facts.
Drop dead facts or Fred facts are the first two that come to mind.
Poor cinema facts.
I think the other two are great, but I kind of want to go with that one.
Well, I was just because you brought up philosophy earlier with Rat Boy, I was thinking of philosophax, but it also sounds like a dino. I was gonna say it sounds like a dino.
It does.
Watch out for the fucking philosophax, or he's wearing like a beret.
That's the sound he makes when he's faxing. He still lives in 1991.
The philosophaxer is just a dinosaur that studied philosophy and sends all the philosophy that he's learned to you in fax form.
Imagine a raptor in like a tie and some shit.
Yeah, with a fax machine.
Brooks Brothers style.
I guess it's philosophaxer now. We had some. Ooh, wow! All right. I guess it's time for some drop dead facts, Fred facts, bad cinema facts, art facts, philosophaxer time. Movies. First fact for you today was that Robin Williams was offered the role of Drop Dead Fred, but instead chose to play Peter Banning in Hook instead. John Cleese was also another first choice for the role.
Why does John Cleese sound familiar?
He's one of the Monty Python homebros.
He was just in
Clifford.
He was in Clifford.
He was Mr. Megorium in Clifford.
He was Speed Racer in Clifford.
Robin Williams would have been interesting.
It gives.
Hey, Fred, watch out, yeah.
That was pretty good. I was gonna say
that was pretty good.
Yes.
What do you mean?
It was decent
he didn't
art.
Say anything.
Hey, I'm Drop Dead
Fred. He was Italian. He wasn't. Okay, now that's a good Robin Williams. He was Italian.
It was
in the
art,
first one.
okay? Jesus.
Italian art.
Yeah.
Italian art is art.
All Italians are bad. Go on.
Just most.
Kind of.
Jesus.
Yeah, just most are kind of bad. Some are
Which
all
evens out to their all average.
So now that we've come to the conclusion that Italians are an average race, an average nation, it
sounds so bad.
The Robin Williams Drop Dead Fred kind of gives me like the genie from Aladdin vibes a little bit, where it's very sporadic in a way and always just spitting things out, word vomiting all over the place.
Yeah, a little more repetitive in this one than in like Aladdin, where
snot face
saying different things over and over. But yeah, a little bit.
Next one was that this script. Oh my god, I forgot about this script was originally offered to Tim Burton, but he declined to direct.
This
man.
So I know that you're already a pretty anti-Drop Dead. Would you think this is better than a Tim Burton version of the film?
I probably would have maybe like the Tim Burton version. I don't know.
Whoa.
More.
Yeah.
Whoa.
You're giving him a really tough choice here.
I know. This is like Sophie's choice.
I was gonna say.
I probably would like it if Wes Anderson did it the most out of those three. Out of Tim Burton and this current director.
Out of 8 DeJong, Tim Burton, and Wes Anderson.
You gotta fuck one. You gotta fuck one, marry one, kill one.
Bedwetting Mary.
Barry.
Bedwed and behead.
Yeah.
Next fact is that Grandma Bunce
Oh yeah.
is played by the director's mother. For the scene when she gets the paint thrown on her, all the yellow paint's thrown on her.
Yeah. She's like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Yogurt was used. Weeks later,
Yogurt?
she was still finding yogurt inside her ears. Grandma Bunce, wash your ears.
Did they have to use yogurt?
I don't know. They could have used real paint.
Yeah.
That would have been worse.
Would it have?
Yeah.
Is real paint worse than yogurt?
This movie
Real
could
paint
use some
is-
grit.
Grits?
Some
Yes.
grits.
So we throw lead paint on this old woman. Some grit, like some southern grits. This is what
Yeah,
it
it shows
needed.
a little realism. A little guerrilla filmmaking.
This
Yeah,
took place
if
in
they-
Minneapolis.
A
How
snuff
much?
film where we'd kill an old woman with paint
Yeah.
This
and call it Drop Dead Fred.
we killed a woman with paint, and we just fed everybody grits the whole time.
It was the craziest craft services I've ever seen in my life.
It's in
A
Minneapolis. I don't think it's making it.
18-foot table and it's all grits.
I
No
don't think-
plates, no silverware.
Yeah.
It's just
It's
coated
just
in grits.
it's just a trough
Yeah.
of grits.
It's a
Come
gritty
get
movie.
your slop.
Real gritty movie.
The next one, the scene where Polly, the mother, tapes up the Jack-in-the-Box containing Fred, was based off an actual incident that happened to a friend of co-writer and executive producer Carlos Davis named Steve Burnett. Burnett's mother, Gloria, had an imaginary friend when she was a little girl, but the girl's mother couldn't stand the fact that her daughter had an imaginary friend. It finally got to the point where Gloria's mother took her imaginary friend and flushed it down the toilet. This incident traumatized her for 3 years.
This movie's
And
like
she was totally fine.
she was cool after that. So is this whole movie just an amalgamation of different childhood
Good
traumas?
word.
Good word. Thank you. Of different childhood traumas that like they did a piss poor job of portraying.
Pretty much, but I wouldn't say piss poor.
I would.
No.
Lucas would.
Well, I know Lucas would.
Maybe different kind of.
Are you
poor.
saying the implication of abuse was overt?
Yes.
Done well?
The abuse part?
Any of it?
Yes.
Okay, moving on.
Next. Oh, I forgot about this one.
Forgot about all.
This
of
is
them.
for
That's
you.
Like the fourth time you said
This
that.
is for you, Seth. Winona Ryder.
Go on.
Winona Ryder was director 8 DeJong's first choice for the role of Elizabeth after seeing her in Beetlejuice, Edward Scissorhands, and Heathers. But working title executive Tim Bevan felt that she was too young for the part, but the role was offered to her anyway. She turned it down as she was busy doing Mermaids from 1990, and because she didn't want to be typecast in strange comedies. Other ones that were considered were Molly Ringwald, Julia Roberts, Carrie Green, Martha Plimpton, Jennifer Connelly, Leah Thompson, who is the mother of Marty McFly in Back to the Future, and Uma Thurman were all considered for the role.
This is kind of stupid knowing that the movie's from 1991, but when I first saw, I had to rent it because it wasn't free for me for whatever reason.
Yeah, I rented it.
Oh, okay, I thought you said okay. Anyway,
You're
but
like, yeah, you paid
I thought
for
you
this?
well, I thought you said it was free on Amazon Prime, and I looked and it was like $4.
No,
whatever.
I just said
spent
it was
money
on
Drop
Prime.
Dead.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway,
you paid.
I
for
thought it was
this.
Anne Hathaway in the poster. It just looked like her from a distance.
From 91.
Yeah.
Little baby Hathaway.
Baby Hathaway, yeah.
Next one. There's an alternate ending in this where Elizabeth is at Mickey's house reading his daughter Natalie a bedtime story. And after a few minutes, Natalie comes out of her room where she tells both Elizabeth and Mickey that her imaginary friend ripped up her teddy bear. Elizabeth asks Natalie the name of her imaginary friend. Natalie reveals the name is Drop Dead Fred, and the scene ends with a shot of a pop-up book opening, revealing a pop-up illustration of Drop Dead Fred with a voiceover of Fred saying, "Playtime."
Wacky.
When the film was screened for a test audience, the audience hated the ending because
I
they
bet they
hated the
did.
idea of Fred disappearing forever on everyone. This prompted New Line Cinema to cut the ending and reshoot it where Fred is seen with Natalie pulling a prank on Natalie's babysitter.
goes from like a horror twist to a sort of family-friendly twist.
Yes.
Uh,
Playtime.
I guess neither of them makes sense really as an ending.
I'll tell you this right now. I loved the ending, but I was a little confused with it. Like I almost cried a little bit. Yeah.
No, I shouldn't be surprised.
I almost cried at the ending here, and I loved it. But then I was thinking about the logistics of it all, and I was like, wait, she could only see Fred before, so yeah, I'll get into it.
It's like a fairly godparent situation.
A little
Yeah.
bit.
That's what I was thinking of too.
3 more. Mickey Bunce.
Godparents.
Godparent. Mickey Bunce. His role was actually offered to Josh Brolin, Michael J. Fox, Anthony Michael Hall, Matthew Modine, Keanu Reeves, and Charlie Sheen.
Wow, that's a diverse group of people.
I know.
Rich Roll, you said Charles?
Mickey Bunce.
Oh, Mickey. Okay, sorry.
And then the role of Charles was offered to Alec Baldwin, John Getz, Jeff Goldblum, Jeffrey Jones, and Rick Moranis.
A lot of people turned this script down.
Yeah.
Rick Moranis?
Yeah.
He's such a weird guy to pine over. Like, oh no, Rick Moranis left me. Am I that sad about it?
Oh no, not
Yeah.
Rick. We lost Rick.
He's shrunken still.
And
I don't think that was ever resolved.
She's pining over the small version of Rick Moranis.
oh,
I'm trying to get him back. Well, he can't get far. Just go get him.
He's right there.
Pick him up.
And my last one I've already kind of alluded to is this movie was the subject of podcast How Did This Get Made's episode 219. During the episode, co-host June Diane Raphael disclosed that this was the film that made her want to get into acting. This is her favorite film and made her get into acting because of this movie.
Is this one of those, like, you hear Justin Bieber on the radio and you're like, I want to be a musician because I'm tired of what's on the radio?
No. She was completely inspired by the performances in this movie.
Okay.
And what this movie could do for you.
Okay.
Yeah. Listen, I'm here for it.
I'm all for people being inspired by whatever they want to be inspired by.
Okay. That's facts.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
one of my
facts.
favorite movies is little tiny 13-inch man fighting crime.
And that's art. Doll Man.
That's one of your favorite movies?
One of our favorite we've done on this show.
Our
I should say.
favorite.
I love Doll
Collective
Man.
favorite.
Mel.
Well, that's
That's a given.
yeah.
That's a bracket winner.
That's not one of the options. That's just like upper echelon God style.
That's S tier. That's
Yeah.
Mel went dummy mode on that bracket. I'll say that right now.
I'll have to re-listen to the Dollman one.
Are you looking back on Dollman like you are Mel now, where you're like,
No, not
this
at all.
is good. Oh,
No, I can't. Dollman was terrible.
Oh.
Jackie Earle Haley was awesome.
He was. I looked at the spreadsheet for that of like scores of like what were close and what weren't. Jackie Earle Haley was 1 vote away from winning Best Actor.
How did he not?
I was gonna ask, listening back to the awards episode, I was gonna ask if there was fair play with Gene Wilder winning, with your wife counting all the votes and everything.
Yeah, I think you gave him 2. I gave him 1. Devin gave him 1. Lucas gave him 5. So that one was
Still
super
a little
close.
fishy.
It was like
I agree.
the votes on that one were like 11, 12, 12, 13, 15. Like it was like super. That was a tight race.
I mean, all that really matters, and the big takeaway from that episode is the Cat from Outer Space won Best Picture.
Yeah, nothing
Here we are
else.
A couple of weeks later.
Nothing else in that episode mattered. None of the awards, none of the bracket winners.
That's what we were just going for, was to get Cat from Outer. And that one almost
Still
lost
time
too.
to get to Best Picture.
Yeah.
That one was close too. Annie Hall was right on its ass, and then so was 2001: A Space Odyssey. School of Rock was last.
That makes sense.
All right, let's get to the movie.
Movie.
Could you imagine if you had a? Oh yeah, you go for it.
No,
Go
I don't want to
huge.
cut you off.
I was gonna say, could the instant I start talking again, you're like, could you imagine if you had like a imaginary friend as a kid and it was just Nicole Kidman? Like,
Which version of Nicole Kidman?
Just like normal, not this crazy Nicole Kidman that we've
like crab walking Nicole Kidman.
yeah,
crab walking.
No, just like normal.
Tentacles for knees.
You're like a kid wanting to have like this great friend, and it's just like Nicole Kidman. She's like, oh yes, my husband's Keith Urban. Let's listen to his music and let's enjoy a Coke and go to the
I'd
movies.
go crazy too. Jesus.
Yeah.
Don't make you listen to your husband's music, lady.
Yeah, I think if she wasn't married to Keith Urban, she's much better than Drop Dead Fred, but Keith Urban drags down to the point where they're kind of on par with each other.
Also, could you imagine having an imaginary friend who has a husband? This is like,
Yeah.
I'm meeting my imaginary friend's family today.
That is kind of antithetical to the point of like imaginary friends in general, because they're supposed to be your friend.
They're
like,
just,
sorry, I have something I have to do today. Like, I need to go home. I don't have a sitter. I gotta get back to the baby. Like, hold on, I have problems. I'm like 6.
It's like, yeah, I was gonna say you're 6 years old. It's like a Saturday. Like, you want to hang out? It's like, sorry, the farmers market's this morning. We're going thrift shopping later.
And it's funny because it's just a 6-year-old subconscious that's putting an imaginary friend they created for themselves and giving them somewhere else to be because they're like that neglected, that they just think they don't deserve that
That's
attention.
my point of the movie. That is art.
No, I'm making it more artful than it actually was.
Did you guys have imaginary friends as kids?
I did not.
I did because I saw it in media and like thought it was the thing kids were supposed to do. So I was like, I guess I'll make one then.
Peer pressured into it.
Yeah, I
peer pressured into an imaginary friend.
This is why I think that there's something wrong with my brain, because there's so many times in life, even to this day, I'll do something just because I think it's like what people do.
Did you ever have a pet rock?
Yeah. Actually,
that was his imaginary friend. His imaginary friend was a pet rock.
I had several pieces of cardboard because I went through them too quickly.
No,
it's fine. You'll like it.
Okay.
I turned pieces of cardboard into Plank from Ed, Edd and Eddy, and I would carry him around the house all the time. He would play Madden with me, and I'd kick his ass.
I wonder why.
Imaginary friend. Sorry.
No, you're good.
I was just saying, imaginary friend seems like an only child thing.
I was about to say, you have so many siblings.
Yeah, but they suck. They're all bad. Every one of them.
Shout out the Tigner family.
Shout out
suck.
to Tigner, Pinkerton, Sherburne.
What's Des Moines' last name?
Kennedy's.
Des Moines.
John F. Kennedy's family.
Madole. My sister's married. What's her husband's last name?
There are too many last names, Seth.
Yeah, like 5.
You shouldn't have an imaginary friend if you have that big of a family.
Okay, well, sorry, I'm a needy little bitch.
Needy bitch.
Movie.
I forgot to mention, this is season 5. Last episode was actually season 5. This is season 5 as well. We're gonna do segments of 16 or 17 episodes a season. Finish everyone off with another shorter bracket episode and like an award show.
Oh, we're doing that for sure.
Yeah, where we can give a distinct ending to each season, so it's not just life moments that make us change a season.
Good idea, Bardo.
Way to go, Bardo.
All right.
A little structure in our life.
Movie time.
What news I needed.
The mother, Polly, starts off, she's reading Little Elizabeth. She's maybe, thanks. She's maybe 5 or 6 years old. She's reading her a bedtime story saying that only good girls get the princess. Little Elizabeth, I'm sorry if I steal a quote or something, but she's like, well, that's shit.
That's a pile of shit.
That's a pile of shit.
Oh, it's black comedy territory.
It is black comedy territory.
Children are swearing.
It sets off the thing immediately, and
nothing.
I'm gonna say this now. I thought that the best acting was actually the Little Elizabeth. I thought she did great in this movie for a 5-year-old.
It's funny. I was gonna say the same thing. I think she was the best actor in the movie.
She was so good in some of the scenes where she's like screaming at her mom or just like interacting with Fred. So good.
But I mean, then inherently the movie can't be that good then.
If the child is the best actor.
Who's in 10% of the movie.
She was more than 10%.
Yeah, maybe 12%. But I'm with you there, Lucas. I was having that same thought during the watching of this.
I agree. I think we needed more of the little girl.
Yeah, which I think Brandon would also agree with.
Whoa.
Well, she was the best actor.
Okay, I thought you were projecting something on me with all the pedophilia shit you've been saying about me recently.
You mistake me. No. We're moving past. We're on the Brandon is a what's a bad thing you can be in the next season?
Every season I'm something different.
Yeah, every season you're a different part of humanity we wish we could just cut off and serve into the ocean.
You hate poor people.
Brandon is an elitist.
I'm an elitist this season. Fuck you guys. I make 6 figures.
God, don't remind me.
Right.
I'm actually sad now.
So after she says there's a pile of shit to her mom with the story time or whatever, you get title cards. They were like colored pencil animated sketches. I kind of like.
What if Brandon hates the disabled people?
Ooh,
oh no,
that's good. I like that.
Oh no.
Hello.
There's a dog was scratching on the door, but we can't open that. They'll die in here.
Oh, that's true.
I thought that these like colored pencils animated sketch title cards thing. What are you laughing at?
I'm just excited to make you look like an asshole for this season.
Every season. I actually kind of like these. I thought they were kind of creative. It reminded me a little bit of Napoleon Dynamite style, where it's the food with the names or whatnot.
Yeah. Inventive.
We like an inventive intro scene.
Yeah, I was a fun opening scene like that where you forget that it's just credits.
Yeah.
Because last time we had something that was just a credits opening, somebody was like, oh, they haven't done this in 40 years.
And yeah, it's just titles on the screen. You're like, fuck, it's been like 6 minutes.
Gotta
Show
make
me
a mood.
something.
Yeah.
And we
It's
brought
part
up
of the movie. You can do so much with it.
It was really... I thought it was pretty cool.
We brought up some of them before. It's like Spider-Man with the webs and whatnot. Spider-Man and the Spider-Verse was a good one. Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
School of Rock did it well.
School of Rock did it really well. We said Napoleon Dynamite. What's the other one? Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, the remake one there. Really good. So, but 21 years later, older Elizabeth, this is Phoebe Cates, is prepping to say that she forgives and loves Charlie. And I was like, what did she do? She didn't do anything. It was Charlie.
Charlie's cheating on her, moving out.
And she's
on the horizon to live with his mistress.
And she's going to apologize to him. I was like, whoa, pump the brake. What are you?
I'm just going to my notes.
Oh, okay. I was like, pump the brakes. Charlie's telling her all about how she's like, I'm sorry, I still love you. He's like, no, you're right. We should separate. She's like, wait, what?
Did I say that?
He wants to be with Annabella now. And Elizabeth is calling her friend on the payphone. This is Carrie Fisher, Janie. Somebody comes by. Janie?
I thought she was her therapist. Is that...
No, they're friends. They're just like a 20-year age gap.
There were so many age gaps in this. Janie was fucking like this 70-year-old man. The guy on the boat?
Yeah.
That man was so old.
The other professor guy, other therapist?
Whatever their profession was.
Yeah. I have no clue. They just like put him in an office somewhere, just like a boardroom. It'll seem legit.
And then they did.
Well, Charlie was like 15 years older than her too. He looked a lot older than her, but you could really tell with Carrie Fisher and I think his name was Murr.
It was Murr.
I was like, from Impractical Jokers.
I pretty much wrote down every quote of his. Everything he said is pretty much in my phone.
I don't think I quoted him once, so I'm glad you're covering his bases here.
We got it all.
It's a bad friendship.
You don't like this friendship?
I thought there was a therapy-patient relationship. I didn't know they were friends.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
Carrie Fisher's character did put up with a bit.
She put up with a lot.
To the extent that a professional would, not necessarily a friend. Because a friend is give and take. A therapist is being paid.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to do that. I thought it was like the wheel on this. It's right here.
Did it like 4 times.
I know. I thought it was the wheel. I'm playing footsie with you.
Bad friends.
What are you talking about? I sat through a therapy session with you last weekend. Am I a bad friend?
I retract.
No, she's a good friend. You're on my
side.
She
make jokes and stuff. She just burned down her boathouse.
No, that is true.
I didn't do that to
you. No,
you.
you did not. Janie should not be friends with her anymore. She literally destroyed her house, which was also a boat. Why did her houseboat need to be a paddle boat, though? Couldn't have just been like a normal...
It's a stupid movie.
Anyway, so he wants to be with her.
Hop on board.
What's a normal houseboat? What's normal in that aspect to you?
I guess I don't know that.
Couldn't it just be like a normal boat that couldn't move across the water?
Why does it have to be a houseboat in the movie? Yeah.
That's a better question. Why did it have to be a houseboat?
So it could sink?
Exactly. That was
probably.
I mean, they could have burnt it down, like her normal house down or something instead. Like Fred could have like broke the gas line and burnt it down or something. But
that seems too vile at that point. Because at that point, it's like, oh, this guy's a menace. But if you sink a boat, you're like, accidents happen. But if a house burns down, you're like, that person should be in jail.
Okay, fair. Yeah, that's fair. So the houseboat was the only option they had. Is what we're saying. Yeah, had to have been a houseboat. I'm glad we reached that. I'm glad we reached
Condominium.
House condominium.
I assume it's the same thing.
Boat condominium.
Not a house condo.
I'm glad we reached this conclusion. I'm glad we reached this conclusion 50 minutes before it happens in the movie. Let's get back to the actual scene. So she's on the phone with Janie. Somebody comes by, breaks her window, and steals her purse in her car. Then someone comes into her car, breaks in, and steals it.
Tough time.
She's having so she's lost her car, lost her identity, lost her husband,
lost herself.
Don't even get me started. That's gonna get me going.
I know.
She lost herself. So now she's back at work, but like very late. She's a court recorder or whatever, and she just got fired for being late, so lost her job. She's having the worst hour of her life.
Yeah, and I think here was the worst character, the fucking judge that fired her.
The judge was so bad.
Because she came in, she's like, I'm sorry, my car was stolen. I was trying to see my husband who just cheated on me, and so, like, we split up, and he's like, oh, I'm sorry. No, thank you. And he's like, no, I'm sorry because you're fired.
Yeah, he did.
Sorry if I stole a quote just now.
You're fired. It was just Donald Trump the whole time.
It was.
I mean, the law stops for no one. Let me be clear on that.
And as a judge, he has to be impartial. So.
Let me be clear.
Let the record show. Lucas is a good Obama.
Yeah, boy.
Face. You wheezy baby.
That's more of a Flavor Flav.
Flavor Flav. Yeah. Anyway, Jesus. So, in the lobby of the courtroom, she's walking out. She trips over a briefcase of Mickey Bunce, who used to live down the street from her when she was younger. And Mickey has a daughter. What? Why is that funny?
Let's go on, please.
Okay. Mickey has a daughter, and he said she reminds him of a young Elizabeth. He said when she was younger, she did something to his grandma and blamed it all on someone named Fred. And she goes, drop dead Fred. And this is the paint yogurt scene. It's Slugworth. And I put, Jesus, Grandma Bruce got so much yellow paint drawn on her. And Elizabeth just keeps whispering, drop dead Fred.
Yeah, looking back pretty longingly in these flashbacks, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Drop Dead Fred, I put, seems to be an imaginary friend of hers when she was younger that got her into a lot of trouble. A little mischievous. Mischievous.
Mischief.
Or she used to be a terror and just blamed it all on Fred.
That doesn't make any sense.
No, it does.
There has to be a supernatural force.
No, I don't think so. Imaginary
Therein
friends.
lies the tension of the movie.
Exactly. Imaginary friends
Tension
is like your own projection of someone. Like you're imagining them, and they're kind of what you need them to be for you. As you very gracefully and methodically place your beer back down.
That's how I drink it every time. You're just paying attention this time.
Okay. So I think like it's a projection of herself. Like she was a terror as a kid. But Fred is what she needed because it's a representation and projection of her id, basically.
We'll get into it.
Oh, this is me trying to get into it.
I know, but we're not even.
We haven't met Fred yet.
We haven't
even met Fred. We can't dissect him right now.
But he gets her into a lot of trouble. Supposedly.
We could just for fun though, like a frog.
We already did the whole house condo boat scene thing.
All right, moving on.
Elizabeth gets home with her friend Janie, and she's surprised to see her mother's there, trying to make her stay with her at her place. And the mother basically forces her to come with her to her place. And I put the mother seems very uptight. Like, she has her carpet clean. Don't step on the carpet. She's always making her be like, yes, mother, or whatever, like making appreciative statements back to her. Things like that. Very proper in a way.
Ugh.
Hate that type.
Yeah, I just hated this mom character, which is intentional. So they did a good job writing her. But I mean, he like forced her out of her apartment where she was staying with her husband that's cheated on her, and you get back to your house, and the first thing you say is, Yeah, don't step on that carpet. Don't even fucking think about it. And also go upstairs. Oh, what was that?
Go to your
Yes,
room.
mother. That's
Yes,
right.
mother.
Now get up.
Now
Yeah,
get to your
that's
room.
right. I love that bitch. Like, as soon as she's out of earshot, just, oh, man.
The mega bitch.
That daughter bitch of mine I love.
Oh, the way I said that reminded me of, your eyes popped open. Fairly Odd Parents when it's the Crimson Chin. But what's his name? Mr.
Crocker.
Mr. Crocker. He sees the Nega Chin, which is the
negative
black
chin.
The negative chin, which is the black version, a black suited Crimson Chin.
Yeah.
And when he comes up, the way he says it sounds very right. The Nega Chin. And you're like, whoa, what did he just say?
Just anything he says, really.
But anyway,
that's pretty close. Even on its own, that's pretty bad.
Yeah. Oh, it's super bad.
Yeah.
So yeah,
super bad. Good movie.
Great movie.
Super bad.
Super uptight mother. Elizabeth's in her old room and opens up a cupboard. She's a baddie.
Super bad.
Elizabeth opens up a cupboard in her room and out pops like a lot of toys, including a taped Jack-in-the-Box. And as Elizabeth sleeps, it flashes to her as a child, where a hand reaches from behind the pillow, smacks her on the head, but it was all a dream.
It was only just a dream.
I was thinking about her.
And then it's present day. Thinking about
open my eyes, yeah.
It was only just a dream.
Nice. I'm glad we got that in.
Gonna listen to that on the way home.
Is
Is that Nelly? Or is that
is Nelly?
Usher?
It's our boy Nelly.
Okay, thank you.
And it's also famously about his sister who died and not any specific girl.
Oh,
dude,
I didn't know that.
That's so sad. There's so many love songs I really enjoy that turn out to be about somebody's mom dying from dementia. You ever heard
It's always just like come back, I love you and shit like that.
Yeah, and it's always about a relative. And I'm sitting here feeling bad because like I was thinking about like some crush I had or somebody I'm missing, and now I'm like, oh, they like miss somebody important, and I'm just like fantasizing about a world.
Permanently.
Yeah, exactly.
They literally lost the person who birthed them, and you're like, oh fuck, this is my crush from 4th grade.
You guys ever heard of Wye Oak? I'm sorry to go on this tangent, but it's like a really good song. There's a song called "I Hope You Die" by Wye Oak, and it's like it's really sad. It sounds like angry out towards like a loved one, you know. And it's like the ending thought is "I hope you die" like 6 or 7 times repeated with like bare acoustics, but like an echo in the background. It sounds very beautiful and very sad. Brandon would cry. Like it's
for
sad.
For sure.
You'd cry anyway. But I was like, oh yeah, I kind of feel this way, but like in like a good way. And then I looked at the lyrics, and you can tell she's talking about, like I said earlier, her mother that has dementia is dying in the hospital, and she's just like thinking back on her life and enjoying everything and saying, I hope you die because I'm tired of watching you suffer like this and not know who I am every time I see you.
Jeez, yeah.
Yeah, not related to Drop Dead Fred, but just to...
When you were explaining it, it kind of reminded me of Kanye West. Like, I thought about Killing You Today from the Ye album.
Oh, yeah.
I think about killing myself very often, and I love myself more than I love you, so best believe I thought about killing you today. It's like, wow, okay, that's really dark, but also like very beautiful and like self-appreciative.
You would like this song.
Okay. Yeah. Send it to me. I'll listen.
Okay.
Not right now.
Yeah.
Oh, you do it right now because we're going to forget.
Yeah. Also, I'll distract you guys.
So, as Elizabeth sleeps, smacks her on the head. She wakes up from the dream to see that Jack-in-the-Box that's taped up. It's just... it's just fucking...
Thinking about,
God damn you guys. The handle is just fucking going. Like spinning. She's not touching it or whatever. And she gets up, removes the tape, and out pops a little green ball with some orange hair to a lot of sound effects, just animated.
Very poorly filmed, I'll throw in there.
Poorly animated.
Yeah.
And this little ball turns into Drop Dead Fred. He's a 6 foot tall, 33-year-old man wearing a green suit with red hair.
Shocking red hair.
Yeah.
Not like natural red.
He's also a posh British, sort of mischievous, sort of imp character.
Mischievous? Infamous sort of imp character.
Posh, mischievous, yes.
Oh, I was like, posh-chievous. What the fuck is that?
Oh, no, posh mischievous.
Okay. No, he kind of is. And
I fucking hate Fred. We can talk about it now.
He's been waiting.
He's so annoying.
Waiting
The
for the
way he
moment
talks
Fred came
and
on screen.
Screams at the camera, at the characters. His stupid accent. His little sort of like crap walking around, like this, where he goes, "Oh, what are we doing now?" Sort of a Hamburglar type figure in this world.
Well, Hamburglar type.
You don't like the Hamburglar though?
You're not watching the Wacky Adventures of Ronald McDonald with us.
I wish I was.
You can join. You can hop on.
No, I don't want to intrude in your guys' bonus episodes. I've already taken over.
We've talked about on the bonus episodes trying to get you or Devin on. So
I would love to be on them.
The merrier.
I just feel like I've overhauled so many things on this podcast as it is. I don't want to keep doing it to you guys.
Our 42-minute bonus episodes are going to be 90 minutes.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying they're going to be 90 minutes, and there's going to be how many fucking stupid running jokes have I forced my way into?
12.
12. Exactly.
So yeah, you don't like Drop Dead Fred.
You.
I know. I love you guys.
I think my thing with Fred is that because he was I thought that because he was her childhood friend and then he got trapped in the box, he was still kind of like a child figure to her, where he was loud and annoying and that's what he was supposed to be, and all of his immaturities, the jokes were meant for kids because it was to entertain her.
Yeah,
he's just been locked up for so long. So wiping the boogers, always farting, calling her snot face, ripping up dolls.
We're on the same page for sure.
Okay.
Still not like it.
Still an annoying.
Still bad.
But that's kids, and that's why you want to have them.
Emotionally stunted because she's emotionally stunted.
Exactly.
Yes. That's giving it too much credit again, I think.
No, I loved that. I was glad you said that.
That's a good point.
I'm definitely more on the fence than I lead on. I'm taking Lucas's side, but I'm pretty much right in between you two.
We're a pro Drop Dead Fred, anti Drop Dead Fred.
This movie was the definition of a love-hate relationship for me.
Oh, okay.
Besides all the other ones
I'm gonna love to hear your input throughout this. We've got Fred now, and he's an absolute menace. He starts throwing dolls, ripping up toys, and he walks downstairs and just starts spreading dog poop all over the clean carpet.
Yeah. Emphatically.
It's weird. I'm reading my notes now, and when I first encountered Fred, I was very anti-Fred. But now as I read them back, I was like, oh, he's doing this for a reason.
Yeah, you're how charming.
Well, I wouldn't say
my prince. My prince and his dog shit carpet idea.
As he screams and wipes his ass on the carpet.
I wouldn't say prince.
Brandon's having heart palpitations. He's so in love.
It's like when Lucas moaned for you.
I did love that. Even though it was him inhaling improperly.
Yeah. So this dog poop is on the carpet the mother said stay off of. And he's got this ink that he's about to dump all over it that says mother sucks or something with the ink. She's like,
mother,
let's play hide and seek. And he's like, oh yeah, we're gonna play hide and seek. And so he's like, I'll hide. And so she starts counting. He's gone for the night because it's the next morning, and mom is just scrubbing carpets.
Yeah, she's all like, oh, I can't believe you've already gone crazy one night back in the house. What are we gonna do with you?
Yeah.
And Fred is back again. Oh, what? Sorry, Seth.
No, you're good. I was just going to say that I thought it was funny that she plays the hide-and-seek game, gets rid of him, and then doesn't make any attempt to clean the carpet or hide the mess. She's just like, I'll deal with it tomorrow. I'm going to bed.
Go back to bed. No, that's true.
I was I thought that was going to be the plan immediately. And then, it just shifts into the next morning.
So my question for you here is with... If Fred's her imaginary friend...
I cannot believe the intellectual discourse that
I know
it's going to be happening.
If Fred's her imaginary friend, I think that she basically put the shit on the floor.
Yeah. Do you think he did it?
No, that's not what I'm...
I think he did it.
I think he did too, little bastard.
Now that Lucas says it.
I told you. I'm excited with it. It's good back and forth.
I don't think that he did it.
Makes good television.
She did it because... so Fred's actions manifest out of the imaginary realm into the real world as a projection of Elizabeth. I was like, whoa, Brandon, calm down here a little bit, but
because you really just met him and you don't know if he's real or not.
No,
I mean,
but
you assume it that early on in the movie.
But those are my notes.
Yeah, you can be a little verbose at times.
Oh,
in a
for
good
sure.
way. I think you do it well, but also, like, fuck off. You know what I mean?
Ostensibly.
Ostensibly. I do it too. That's why I know.
Here henceforth, we will keep moving on.
Here to after. What's the next note?
I put next morning, Mom's scrubbing the carpets, thinking it's all Elizabeth, whatever. And Fred pops up in the kitchen. She's upset. She's like, "Oh, we're making breakfast or whatever." Fred pops up, just crawls under the mom's dress and starts peeping.
Yeah.
That's scamp.
That's scamp. That's Elizabeth looking under her dress.
That was after he got his head smashed in the fridge.
That was after. Yeah, good.
That's why he was on the floor, because he was trying to, like, thumb in his mouth. Yeah. And he finally got it, and he's like, why was he crawling around? He wasn't even crawling. He was on his back and using his feet to push him on the tiles.
I don't know.
I don't know why he was, but yeah, he ended up under there, and I'm sure somebody's got a quote. So
yeah, we're going to steal that quote. Mom thinks Elizabeth is clinically insane because she's kind of talking out loud to Fred, laughing at some of the things he's doing and whatnot.
Right.
She's like, "What's going on?" Fred says he came back because he comes to the conclusion he came back into her life because she is sad and alone and is not able to go back until she is happy again.
Mm-hmm.
That was basically his goal for her as a child, is a imaginary friends there to keep you company. You're not alone, you know, things like that. And so
get you to the next stage of life.
Yeah. And she says to be happy, she needs Charles back. So Fred wants to help her get him back. My next note is Fred's dead. Drop dead Fred, run over by a fire truck.
Flashback.
We do get a flashback.
Right after he gets hit by the fire truck.
Yeah, it's to young Elizabeth and Fred doing hijinks. But apparently, young Elizabeth's sneeze launches Fred to bounce around the house.
Yeah.
That's going to come in handy later.
No, it's... Well,
yes,
yeah,
it is.
It is. But this was one part that I was very confused at because, like, none of her other actions made him do anything like this, just sneezing.
Yeah, the begonias or whatever.
The
grandiosas.
You love flowers. You should know these.
I do love flowers.
To my dog at home when I sneeze. He goes nuts.
I thought you were going to say he literally bounces off the walls.
My
he does
dog
that
does.
normally.
You know, Titan, he actually does bounce up the walls. Like, he's got high anxiety. Did I tell you he has pancreatitis, apparently?
Oh, no. So he's got to take metronidazole.
I don't know. He was
Poor
in the
guy.
hospital all weekend.
Caesar had pancreatitis probably like
4 times?
6 months ago.
Oh, what is pancreatitis?
Pancreatitis is inflammation of the pancreas.
Okay.
And pancreas things are really hard to treat. Like pancreas cancer is like the hardest to cure.
The most evil.
It is the most evil.
Inherently.
And we think that he got it stress-induced because of his Addison's disease when Marina's sister stayed with us with her dog, and it stressed him out so much. So he got that as well as acute gastroenteritis, so inflammation of the GI tract. And so we were like watching him. He's having so much diarrhea. And we were like, it's going to get over. This is part of his Addison's or whatnot. And finally, Louis started to have crazy diarrhea. And we're like, fuck, we got to take him to the vet. But they were closed because of the weekend. So we had to go to the ER for the vet, the pet ER.
Oh.
And they brought him in. They're like, Caesar has pancreatitis. He has acute gastroenteritis. They're like, we don't know what the fuck's wrong with Louis. they're like, I don't know what's going on because this isn't transferable to him. And they were like,
Louis just there for solidarity. He was having diarrhea because his friend was
the vet literally came to the conclusion the diagnosis of stress-induced gastroenteritis because Caesar had it was their diagnosis.
I could be a vet today.
There you go. Make 6 figures.
So she sneezes.
She sneezes, bounces him around the house and whatnot, and Fred gives Elizabeth a pretty... Oh, wait, that's not the one. The Fred and Elizabeth, young Elizabeth, are doing hijinks still. They're stealing silverware and metal trinkets around the house. Parents think it's robbers. There's just a lot of commotion going on downstairs.
Uh-huh.
They call 911. But the dad just got arrested for the things Fred and Elizabeth did.
Yeah. Why did the dad get arrested?
I don't...
He tackled a police officer.
out of self-defense.
Yeah,
like a
and I'm
Breonna
sure
Taylor thing.
I was about to say, was that cop
Ooh.
wearing a body cam?
rough. I'm sure they got it worked out later at the station because he tackled him and they arrested him because they thought he was the burglar. You know,
He's like,
assaulting
they're
law
like
enforcement.
walking about. He's like, I'm the owner of this house.
I'm sure they got it worked out later, but he did like assault a cop
Did
or
they
whatever.
serve a warrant? Did they need to in responding to an emergency? I don't know.
I don't know.
I also love that the cop's attempt of kicking in the door was not at like the lock part of the door where you kick it in at the handle. They just kicked in the lower part and broke the door, and then we're just gonna like climb through it.
That was the flimsiest door.
Weak ass door.
A
Get a better
light kick.
door, assholes.
This was one of my favorite scenes in the movie, though.
Hmm.
I enjoyed the whole Fred and Liz burgling things with the teapot. Is that a quote? Should I not say this?
No.
The teapot. She goes, "Oh, this is very expensive." Like she's, and he's like, "Oh, we should be careful with it then." And she
He
goes,
just
"Yes, we
drops it.
should." Yeah, and it's shattered. That's what wakes him up to call the cops.
Yeah.
But it's also funny towards the end of this scene, or I guess kind of towards the end where the cops are coming in. Drop Dead Fred's like, "You gotta blame me, you know. Use the string of her sweater that was caught in the window. She's got it all bundled up because evidence." And
She's
she
like,
holds. It was Drop Dead Fred didn't say it right, which is kind of like alluding to her present day not having the confidence to say what she wants to say
to
but
her mother.
Yeah, or to anybody.
Yeah.
But it's really funny to me because it's cops at the scene of a burglary and a child is outside the premises trying to talk to them and they're ignoring her. She's in light, the street light, the moonlight, whatever it is. You can see her and they're just like, we have a burglary to stop. Like, put her in safety, talk to her, do something. And she just Drop Dead Fred did it. Like, who the fuck's kid is this? Get the fuck out of here.
Who's Fred? Yeah.
It's insane.
Oh my god, that's pretty good. And then I put this while she's holding the ball of yarn or whatnot in the night after the cops pass her. Fred gives Elizabeth a good life lesson in a moment of non-psycho clarity from him. Like at some points he like stops being this character of his and does like actually talk to her like a normal human being. And he's telling her to be exactly like herself, like she's good the way she is, and to be nothing like her mother, which I think is like she created Fred as an imaginary friend because of her mother's uptightness and actions and whatnot.
Right. It's always good
And
advice.
sexual abuse. You're saying, Brandon?
I'm not saying sexual abuse. I know that the writer wrote in sexual abuse because of the molestation. I'm not saying sexual abuse right now.
You're saying it was born that some sort of abuse was overt though.
The mother abuse.
Yes, not sexually though.
So you think it's abuse?
Yeah.
The mother's relationship with the daughter was
Yeah.
somewhat abusive. Yes.
You're doing a bit? Of course.
No, it wasn't abusive.
The mother was totally abusive to the daughter.
When?
Emotionally.
She told her at one point that she didn't love her as much as she used to. That is that's clear.
It's your fault that my husband
Emotional
left.
abuse.
Even as an adult, you said, "No wonder your husband left you."
Yeah,
But that was all after the fact. As a child, I think
That's
he
true.
was just a shitty little kid.
I think we found what team he's on.
I think we found that right away. She was totally abusive to her emotionally. She's what made Fred come, and that's what she hates about it. Whoa, not like that.
I'm sorry. It's not funny.
Anyway, after this life lesson, you get a makeover montage. You get a makeover montage, and now Elizabeth looks exactly like her mother. Haircut, clothing, everything, makeup and everything. Mom's like, more blush, please.
Yeah, they were at a department store where
There's clearly a Dillard's.
it's clearly a Dillard's, but it's her profession, like do makeup and stuff like that. And the
Was
mom,
that her profession?
she was doing the makeup for her. There's like no other place they put the makeup on you that they're not qualified to do that kind of thing.
No, I thought you meant the mother's profession.
No,
Oh,
I'm talking
okay.
about the lady's putting it on because she's the mother's like, oh, no, I think we should do this and this and this.
Yeah, okay.
And the lady's like, this is my fucking job. I know exactly what I should be doing here. But that's just another indication of the controlling nature of the relationship.
Yes.
Obviously.
And a note was left at the mother's house when they get back from Charles saying he misses her and that he should come home. And Elizabeth is ecstatic. She comes home to visit Charlie, and Fred scares the shit out of her and then drops the bomb that he wrote the note. and then proceeds to roast her divorce, her haircut, and her mother.
Trifecta, baby.
The big three.
My note is Fred is loathsome. I think I wrote that when he was making his moment of clarity speech.
No, he wasn't loathsome there in the moment of clarity.
He's never not loathsome. He's a brute.
He was helping her.
He's loathsome.
God damn you. Just because Lucas says it, come up to your own conclusions for what, Seth?
We disagree on every movie.
Yeah, this is... Thank you. This is the one time we've agreed on virtually anything.
And you're not even really agreeing with him. You're just agreeing...
I'm agreeing with him, but I'm also agreeing with you. It just makes for better television to agree with him and fight you than it does to agree with you and fight the guy on the screen.
I guess it's fair.
There's a palpable tension because either one of us could hit each other right now, but we know we won't.
Or kiss.
Or kiss. Much to Devin's chagrin that we have not.
Could you imagine if we made out when he wasn't on?
That'd be so fun. Imagine.
Could you imagine if we made out right now? That would be so funny. If Devin didn't get to see us made out.
We are recording.
Yeah.
He did have to ask our permission.
Stream us on YouTube, yeah.
And subscribe.
Or join our Discord, except as invite only.
Shut up.
So Elizabeth... So after this roasting of her mother and haircut and whatnot, Elizabeth seeks out at night to go to Janie and tells her all about Fred. And Janie's like, oh, you shouldn't be here. This is
Jamie or Janie?
It's Janie.
Okay, that's...
Okay. She's like, you shouldn't be here. This is my houseboat. You should probably leave. And I put, who the fuck is this man that Carrie Fisher is fucking all night long once a month on a paddleboat ferry?
You need to get out more, Brandon. That's not the craziest thing that's happened today.
I've dated 2 women in my life. And one of them I got married to.
Lucas gets it.
Yeah, I mean, paddleboat sex is basically first base these days.
The kids are going, I don't even want to know what the kids are doing now.
You wouldn't want to hear about second base. We usually skip it.
You go straight to 5th base.
Yeah, that sounds right.
You round home and go back to first.
Fucking.
I'm sorry. Was that a thought you had to get out?
That's third base.
You're cementing that in the ether now. It's out there.
Open wound fucking...
You could have written it down. Now it's for our listeners.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's pretty hardcore stuff, actually.
I could imagine.
It is pretty hardcore. I've seen it. I've never been a part of it.
I've got the bracelet.
The bracelet?
What is the bracelet?
It
for
says.
wound
It says. I got wound fucked at Coachella.
It's like the Lance Armstrong, be strong as I get fucked in my wound. Goodness gracious. Little fucking rubber bracelets that are just saying that you have been fucked in your wound or fucked a wound.
No, yeah.
It's those medical bracelets you get at the hospital.
Her therapist friend was just having normal sex with the guy.
She's not a therapist.
They were just having normal sex for a long time.
Yeah, just an all-night fuck fest on a paddleboat ferry once a month.
It's not a paddle boat. It's a huge fucking boat. It's not a paddle boat.
But the propellers are like the
paddles.
The paddle boat's the one where it's 2 people and you pedal it, right?
That's correct.
Then this is not a fucking paddle boat. No, it's not a bigger version.
Okay, the therapist is on the big.
She's not a therapist.
The therapist is on the boat. Fucking some guy.
Lets her stay the night. So, Drop Dead Fred doesn't show up. However, in the middle of the night, she has another dream. Cuts her fucking hair.
In the dream, Drop Dead Fred's cutting little Elizabeth's hair, and she wakes up to cut hair everywhere. And Janie is very confused. Elizabeth thinks, and she's very confused. She's like, yeah, I'm just going to work. You can deal with this. Stay on my boat or whatever. And Elizabeth sees a man driving a speedboat going by. She's like, is that Charlie? So she's looking for binoculars, tried to see him. And Fred pops up, spooks her as she's looking through binoculars. And I put, so now they're stolen a ferry. Because they started up to chase after Charlie, basically.
It's a ferry now.
A paddleboat ferry.
It's a boat condo paddleboat ferry that belongs to the therapist, and they're after him. There's some problems already, so mainly because Drop Dead Fred is touching everything he's not supposed to, being a turd. He's got to go fix the engine.
Or
She
Elizabeth, you could
steers.
say.
He does have to
He'll
go
get
fix
there.
the engine. And when he goes to fix the engine, he's down there, he's intentionally destroying shit.
He's got a wrench.
He doesn't really do anything, but he breaks the glass on the gauges to read all the pressures and the temperatures or whatever. He doesn't do any real damage. He just breaks the readers.
He did.
But then the boat fails.
He did break one of the little hoses, like a gas line or something.
How important could that hose have been? Enough to make it sink, and that's where we end up.
That's where we
in
end
the
up.
harbor.
The boat fucking sinks. They stole a boat. They destroyed the engine.
Yeah.
Whacking it with a wrench, and it's gone.
And then Elizabeth does the right thing.
She does.
She
has
goes
to go
to
tell
tell
her
her.
therapist that she sunk her houseboat.
Not
a lot
a
of people would
therapist,
just
but
go to
okay.
Mexico, because if I sunk my therapist boat,
Not a therapist.
I would
but
kill
okay.
myself. Much to the
Yeah, that'd
chagrin.
be tough.
Sorry to use that word again.
Of the therapist.
Of the therapist.
Goddamn
Thank you,
it.
Lucas.
Yeah, so
She'd be pissed, and then she'd be pissed again because I'd sink her boat, and then she would lose a client.
And I think
Double jeopardy.
I think this is where Janie was like the most supportive friend possible. She's like, "Yeah, I just destroyed your home and sunk your houseboat or whatever." And she's like, "Well, it was actually Fred." And she's like, "Is Fred over there in that chair?" It just starts punching the air where a chair is. Like,
I see. We're just stealing boats now, are we?
whoa,
Boats.
Thank you.
that was good. No, like,
But
yeah, Elizabeth plays along to the whole thing. She can't see Fred or anything.
Yeah.
But
And then
Fred is in like the boardroom and whatnot, so she like wheels the chair out, just punching it, and Fred's like standing behind her, being like, "Are we gonna tell her or whatever?" She doesn't know.
That's an old one. Sorry.
Yeah. Where's my next note? Janie's just smacking a fucking chair on the ground.
Yep. Good note.
In front of all
I
of her
think she
work.
goes to lunch next, right?
Well, Janie also in the middle of like punching the ground. What?
Not important to the story, but she does reveal some harsh.
She screams about fucking Murr.
Yeah,
from
and
Impractical Jokers,
and how she only gets the one night a month because he has a wife.
Exactly. She's got a lot of pent up sexual rage.
Yeah, towards an imaginary friend she assumes is 14 inches, and not in a good way. And then they go to lunch.
With Mickey.
I was thinking 14 inches, and you said not in a good way, so then I thought of Doll Man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
naturally. Mickey cracks me up.
Mickey's a weirdo.
Small side note, I'll be quick. Mickey I laugh at because it's a Jake and Amir reference. It's one of my favorite pieces of media of all time. There's always some guy Mickey they're trying to call, and
he's so fine.
They actually sing that song, yeah.
So yeah, Elizabeth's on a date with Mickey from earlier. It's like apparently Charlie's favorite spot, which was in a mall.
Was it?
It's like, yeah, it was like in a mall, but it was like his favorite dinner spot. I don't know. Sure. And I put she won't stop talking about Charlie when Fred shows up. And I put it was a good scene of like Mickey's perspective of Elizabeth like shaking the water and pouring it, as well as all the things Fred is making her body do physically. I thought Phoebe Cates was doing actually a really good job of like physically acting and whatnot with like the napkins and the water and shit here.
I agree. I thought it was really well done. I don't know when a scene is well done. I just assume when I don't feel the need to make fun of it, they did it well.
That's fair. Any thoughts on the physical acting, Lucas?
It was pretty good. Pretty solid.
Pretty solid physical acting. And I put that she seems manic from an outsider's perspective. Which
worse than that.
She is, yeah.
No, not just manic. Manic is me last Saturday.
Schizophrenic.
She's, an acute form of schizophrenia or hallucinations. Yeah.
And sorry, I moved your chair a whole lot. And I put Mickey is such an idiot and just so madly in love with her. He just starts throwing food around the fucking restaurant like Fred was making her do.
Mickey's game.
But
Mickey's
a homie.
Mickey's not a homie. Mickey's the craziest person in this movie. Because Liz Elizabeth.
Has,
no. She has schizophrenia. Like that is something that is out of her control. And she doesn't want to deal with it. She's clearly fighting it the whole movie. It's a struggle the whole time.
She is
Whereas this Mickey guy is an actual psychopath that's been hiding his intentions until somebody else that's mentally unstable comes along and is like, it's okay to be you. And he's like, oh yeah? And then kills 30 people.
He's like,
that's Mickey.
He was like, I fucking love when you throw spaghetti in this restaurant, and just starts launching it.
The laughing he did, he was legitimately insane.
Do you know what gave it all away too? The earring.
No, absolutely.
You're
absolutely.
Hardcore
the one
earring
in the left ear. Yeah, no,
Is
I
that
saw
the
it.
gay ear?
I don't know which one the gay ear is, Brandon. Can you not be homophobic for like
I'm not
4
trying to be
seconds?
homophobic.
Good God.
Could never remember.
Can never remember which ear is the gay ear. Well, it shouldn't be a problem, Brandon. You shouldn't have to know somebody's.
It is if you're having ear sex. Jesus, that's second base. Third base is wound sex.
So the psychopath gets kicked out of the restaurant because he's throwing spaghetti everywhere.
Yeah,
and the chef comes over and says, "You can't throw on my spaghetti."
It's a spicy meatball.
Yes.
So Elizabeth's so mad, and she never wants to see Fred again after this, and she's yelling at him in the mall, and I put, oh my God, Elizabeth is beating up this poor violin player with her own purse, thinking that is for. I thought this was so funny. I had to rewind it and show. Honestly, I don't think any of like the Fred itself scenes were like super funny because they were very childish humor.
Some of them were good, like when he was sleeping like a bat.
That's okay, yeah. But like all the fart jokes and stuff. But
so even Lucas like that one.
This lady's playing a violin, and then you cut to Phoebe Cates sing that it's
beating the shit
drop
out of
dead
this
Fred
just
playing a
fucking
violin
guy.
poorly. She goes up and just takes a purse and just starts whacking, and then you cut to real life, and she's just beating the shit out of this poor violin player with the purse. I thought it was. I showed Marina too.
So good.
So good. And
I got
funny, yeah.
So the mom ends up taking Elizabeth to a pediatrician. I don't know why it was a pediatrician.
Oh, podiatrist.
No, that's for feet.
We're saying the same thing.
He was like a specialist in imaginary friends.
I guess. Oh yeah, I guess that's
Imaginary
true.
friend
and like
syndrome.
they normally have children, yeah, which is
yeah.
Like, the guy in the room is like, hey, so who are you here with? And she's like, it's for me. Fred's right there.
And yeah, this part kind of it took me by surprise at first. Yeah, it's not unusual.
This might be. I'm not gonna say it just in case it is a quote, but maybe the funniest scene in the movie to me is in this area.
So she's in the waiting room of all the kids with imaginary friends, and Fred encounters other imaginary friends of the kids.
Yes.
And they all have wacky characters. They're all vibing and whatnot.
He's like, the gang's back together.
But Elizabeth couldn't see the other friends. It was like, Now, why would that be? And that's because I think that Fred itself is a projection of her own id, helping her cope with the trauma from her mother.
So she's, at this point, diving further into the rabbit hole where her imaginary friend has imaginary friends, as opposed to
an imaginary world, a world of imaginary friends.
And everybody gets their own, but they can only see their own.
That's what I thought, and then the ending confused me so much, so I don't know. I don't have the answer to that, because that's the answer that I came to, but then the end was like, quit laughing at every time I say come or came.
Sorry.
Jesus Christ. You're like, I was going to say, you basically have Fred controlling you right now. All the immature jokes.
It's been a long day, man.
You stayed up until 7 a.m.
Don't tell people that.
I was up at 7 a.m.
It's fun? Is that what you said?
Yeah, fun.
It's
Lucas,
like,
what time
it's chill. It's like a cool thing to do.
Lucas, what time do you get up this morning?
Like 9.
Oh, you slept in. Actually, I did see Alex's Instagram story of Sundays are for sleeping in with the picture of Jinjo, so I guess that makes sense.
There's a lot of weekdays I wake up, or I don't wake up. I'm awake when Lucas is waking up, and he'll message me something about movies, and I'm like, oh shit, someone to talk to that's awake.
He messaged you about movies, and all you respond with is just movies. That's usually how it goes.
You're not far off.
They're usually very thoughtful.
Thoughtful. Jesus. That wasn't supposed to come out like. Let's just move on.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, this waiting room is just full of imaginary friends. There's all sorts of shapes and sizes. They're all male except one female.
Yeah.
Just an interesting point. And I put, Elizabeth cannot see these other friends. And I I'm just trying to wrap, because like I said here, just trying to wrap my head around the logistics of the imaginary world and whether he is real or not, you know?
Mm-hmm.
On the How Did This Get Made podcast, they brought up like Monsters Inc. is like the imaginary world from like a Monsters Inc. kind of world where they...
And we brought up Fairly Odd Parents.
That too.
So we might be better than them.
Well, that was a given.
Yeah.
We're way better than Paul Scheer, June Diane Raphael, and Jason Mantzoukas. We're a big deal right now. We get like 50 views, 50 listens an episode. They probably only get like 50,000.
Did they like the movie besides the one that inspired her to act?
Yeah.
So 2 of them loved it, 2 of them hated it.
Who hated it? Are we going to get
Paul
into it later?
Scheer and Casey Wilson, their guest star. Jason Mantzoukas and June Diane Raphael loved it.
You think they would shout out our podcast?
I've messaged Paul Scheer. I've emailed him.
I'll do it.
Do it as well, yeah.
He doesn't listen to short people.
Oh, God.
Moving on.
I mean, his handle is Tall John Scheer, so that makes sense. He doesn't listen to short people.
That's
He's
fine.
kind of got some messed up teeth.
He does have a gap.
Is that a real thing, or is that like a...
No, he does have
He does
pretty
have
big
like
tooth
a Michael Strahan kind
But
of
I
thing.
love it, yeah.
Yeah.
Character trait.
Do you think...
I don't.
Do you think he'd be famous if he didn't have that tooth gap?
Yes.
Do you think he'd get as big as he is right now without the tooth gap?
Yes.
The exact same
I
level.
don't think the
You don't
tooth
think
gap
the tooth gap
defines him.
boosted him even a little bit, though? I'm not saying it defines him either, but I think it defines his career. And I think that's different.
I don't think it defines his career.
It's a subtle but important distinction, as Lucas likes to say.
Yes.
Now, why would that be?
Oh my God.
Movies.
What's the next? What's next?
My other note is that the mom got Elizabeth some pills that the imaginary friends say will kill Fred if she takes the green pills.
It's true.
And Fred's trying to support Elizabeth when we flash back to her as a kid again. And it's her basically destroying breakfast and making a mud pie or whatever.
Yeah, Fred
And-
had cornflake disease.
That was so... The cornflake disease was hilarious.
That was pretty funny. It was like
Uh,
aliens sprouting cornflakes out of her chest.
Oh, was that
Yeah.
breakfast too? Okay.
And but I put the dad.
Haven't seen Alien.
I loved the dad. He was very supportive of her and Fred. Like
It's
the
an
mom was-
alien.
I haven't seen Alien.
What about aliens?
I haven't seen Aliens. I have seen
Space Chimps.
Predators.
Monster
Oh,
versus
okay.
aliens.
Oh, now that's a good movie. That is actually a really good movie.
But I put the dad is very supportive of her and Fred. Like the mom's like, what are you doing? Like, don't encourage this. He's like, she has an imaginary friend. She needs this right now. Like, it's not harmful in any way. She's just acting out right now, and she'll grow out of it. And I was like, props to you, Dad.
Good dad.
But apparently, this is what led to the mom and dad kind of divorce, which is very painful that the divorce is centered around their perspective of their daughter and not their own relationship in a way,
Well,
which I think adds to more trauma.
it's more about how they're
Morbius.
It's Morbius about how they treat their own daughter so much different from each other, so they split apart based on that. Not so much the daughter herself, but I think it's kind of strange / silly. I don't know. The dad seemed to be the more compassionate character, and that's how he's portrayed. And then you never see him in the adult life. He's never talked about. There's no way to call him. I don't know if there were split weekends.
I wish
joint
there was
custody.
a bit more dad in this.
Yeah, which like it furthers.
Same with my life.
Jesus Christ.
My man.
I'm sorry,
I-
Lucas.
No, I was trying to think of a joke, but I can't think of anything. All I can think about is pirates.
You're trying to think of a joke based on Lucas's trauma of a child of divorce.
And related to One Piece. The anime I've been watching. Yeah.
As one does.
Usually I can do it. And seamlessly. But yeah, it's just weird.
They split up. It's sad. And in this flashback, like I said, they make a mud pie. When the mom comes in, Fred hides inside a Jack in the Box from her, and the mom takes the box, tapes it shut after probing Elizabeth to tell her where Fred is. And all these years later, Fred saved a letter little Elizabeth wrote him that they'd be friends forever.
No.
It's you.
Did you cry?
I did not.
What? Did you cry at all in this movie?
I already said that.
Towards the end?
Yeah, I teared up. No tear actually shed down my cheek, but I did tear up.
They kind of like pull themselves up by their bootstraps. They're like, I love you. I really needed you. Let's go to this fancy party.
Yeah, a wine tasting like big like 200 people wine taste. It was weird.
That Charles is at.
I think that he was maybe hosting as well.
The phrase "pull yourself up by your bootstraps" is so funny. I didn't think about it.
It's intentionally supposed to be that way because it was supposed like originally it was like an ironic way to do it because you can't do it, you just fall over.
Yeah.
But then it was said so often, it was co-opted by like the American dream, and now
the American
like
dream.
actually,
yeah.
And that's the only
yeah.
That's the only way I'd ever heard it, and then somebody had pointed that out like literally to me, and I was like, how the fuck do you do that? I just thought pull yourself up by your bootstraps was like you're riding a horse and there's a bootstrap instrument that you pull up and you have to pull yourself up with it, like metaphorically.
You thought very literally.
I thought there was a metaphor within the metaphor of pulling yourself up by the bootstraps. Turns out
the proverbial bootstrap is the friends we gained along the way.
Exactly right, Brandon.
I laughed so hard I think it was the bracket when we said that. We were talking about Clifford and we said that the placenta was the friends we made along the way. That was so funny.
I might re-listen to that.
So yeah. Basically Elizabeth is under house arrest with this big, what I think to be like German nurse, like locking her in the room or whatever.
Some Helga type figure.
She's
very
the classic Helga. I was gonna. We all
knew Helga. Yeah, if not Helga, Olga. Yeah, one of the two.
Which, I mean, virtually
saying the same thing. Yeah.
Marina.
And so she's under house arrest, and whoa,
what?
Just kidding.
Yeah.
No. She's right.
She's
there.
wonderful.
Thank you. And Jesus. Fred helps her break out of the house. They break a window, escape with the help of Mickey driving them there. He's just
Mickey, my friend.
He's just hanging outside the art gallery. Like he was waiting there with like a present for her in a tree. He's like, hey. They sneak out. He's like, I'm in this tree. I got this present for you. Like, can you drive us to this wine tasting?
Yeah, and a really dumb line when he said it too.
I don't remember the line. Is this a quote of yours, Lucas?
Not mine.
He was at the front door trying to get the dress back to the mom earlier.
Okay.
And then she denied him. And I guess he came back later when Liz is breaking out the window of her room and she's walking out in the tree branches. Door to window service.
That's right.
Just now what I said, the way I said it was a better delivery than how he said it.
But Mickey's great.
Mickey, my friend.
Is he?
Mickey.
I mean, he's
a psychopath.
But he's hilarious.
No, I think this movie is more about his introduction into serial killing than it is about Drop Dead Fred.
Yeah.
Okay.
How a sociopath is formed.
Yep.
Joe, chill.
Speaking of sociopaths. Well, Brandon, god damn it. How the fuck did you do that?
I lifted my shirt and I got caught behind the chair.
You piece of shit.
So they make it to this party, this gallery or whatever, wine tasting. Elizabeth gets too afraid and embarrassed to speak with Charlie herself after Fred basically thrusts her on him. And Elizabeth's back home, arguing with Fred when Charles comes in to tell her how beautiful she is and that they should get back together and they're about to get it on.
They should Marvin Gaye and get it on.
Yeah. And Charles hears a door unlock, thinks it's like a real man named Fred. She's like, oh my God, it's Fred. She's like, who the fuck is Fred?
Oh, yeah.
And so he's ready to fight when he bonks the nurse over the head with a cast iron pan.
Bonk.
And then the mom lets her in to find Elizabeth. And after things sort of settle down, they're about to get it on again when he moaned.
What do they do with the nurse? Just like put her in the closet or something?
They put her down.
She died. Then and there, she was drop dead Helga.
Well, she died, but they had a hand in it.
Yeah.
Drop dead Helga. She was the real main character.
So they're about to get it on again when things settle down. And he moans Annabelle's name. And she's like, what the fuck is this? And I have a quote from here.
Do it now.
I'm going to do it now. Do it. He's like, wouldn't it be better that I'm with you and moaned Annabelle's name than if I were with Annabelle and moaned your name?
He didn't even say just Annabelle. He said, if I were somewhere else moaning your name, like there's multiple women out
there.
Yeah.
And she's like, you know what? You're so right. And so they're about to get it on again, and he makes her take one of the green pills. He's like, "This will calm you down."
She's green pilled and based.
I
think this is related to the movie. I think this is one of the important parts of Fred's character, believe it or not, to show that he is emotionally stunted and a child because that's her want to be as simple as a child again. And he's the one listening to all this bullshit that this obvious piece of shit is spewing off and being like, what the fuck are you talking about? This guy's like full of it.
Yeah.
He's terrible. He's
cheating
worse
on
than
you.
your mom. He doesn't even, I don't even know if he understands the concept of cheating. He's just like, this guy sucks.
Yeah.
Let's get out of here. And he's the only voice of reason being like this demonic, insatiable.
Standing up for herself.
Yeah, she is standing up for her own self and her mind, but he's like, take one of these pills. Basically brainwashing her to be with him in a way.
Yes.
And so now comes the saga of Elizabeth and Charlie together with Fred
Here
and
comes
Pam.
the saga.
Do-do-do-do. Here comes the sun,
saga.
and I say,
It's
It's fine.
It's because you're always up for the sunrise.
Here comes the sun, and it's okay.
So yeah, now comes the saga of Elizabeth and Charlie together with Fred in pain from these pills, not liking this relationship at all. And Fred's just trying to warn Elizabeth of Charles in the other room. She's like making dinner, and on the phone, he's talking to Annabelle, saying he still loves her, and that Elizabeth will never know about them. And I don't know how, but she like ended on top of a wall, but like this apartment was like a lofted ceiling where the wall didn't go to the ceiling.
This is like their hellscape world. This imaginary world that Fred was trapped in all those years.
Oh, okay, where there's not a ceiling. She's like just lying on a wall, eavesdropping over the beam of like the bedroom and the kitchen, and she overhears it all. And
I've been places like that. I've worked places like that.
And he's just telling her how much he loves Annabelle. He said Annabelle's name so many times in this phone call. I was like, Annabelle, listen, like Annabelle,
Yeah.
you know.
He's not worried at all about being caught.
No.
It's a very crisp name to go, Annabelle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rolls off
Annabelle,
the
I
tongue.
still love you, Annabelle. Like she's right over there, but I don't even care, Annabelle. She'll never know about it, Annabelle.
Instead of like
Listen to me, Annabelle.
Naomi or something. Annabelle.
That's,
Winona.
I have a coworker named Naomi. Winona. Annabelle.
Annabelle.
What's that? You guys know that JID song? Off D's with
Uh-huh.
J. Cole?
Yeah.
Hannibal.
Yeah.
Annabelle.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Naomi.
Naomi. Can't do it. You're
Winona.
That's like
So-
a Migos song.
So now that we've covered Annabelle's Christmas as a name, my next note is
Making a
that.
Mona, her name is Winona.
Ooh.
Okay. Is that a verse or did you just freestyle
That's
that?
Dome, baby.
That was domed?
Fucking that night that and that bitch is a Mona.
I pull out my dick, that pussy a coma.
A bad piece of art, but still in the MoMA.
Oh.
Pop a Viagra, I still got a bona. We'll just keep going, baby. Off the
I keep
dome.
laughing at the dick and cum joke.
Yeah.
I haven't changed.
I killed a motherfucker on Tower Street.
On which street?
I can't. We gotta bleep that out, guys. As well.
I'm from there. Who I know that I know that clinic. Who was it? Sorry, we can talk later, but like I might be pissed at you or something.
So I don't know what happens, but she gets startled and Lucas is crying. He's crying.
Carly.
This is me at the end of the movie.
No, there's been a long running bit that Alex despises that I do, where I say there's this guy who got killed on Tower Street like 8 months ago or something, and then I always claim that I killed him. Just to Alex. So but we can't incriminate me because I did
Hey,
not.
Carly.
Actually.
But this is like before my time. I'm not privy to this inside joke.
I don't know this inside joke either.
Text me.
Yeah, don't say it live.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out later.
We're not doing it live. Not Bill O'Reilly style.
Cut this. Oh,
Brandon.
So anyway, apparently she gets startled or something, falls off like the banister ledge wall thing between the rooms,
Yeah.
and as she falls, She
Wait,
turned.
no, she's not on the wall this whole time.
She was up on like the ledge.
No, Fred was. Fred's on the ledge. She says, "Come listen to me." He falls off the ledge.
Fred is her.
Okay,
She
but
is
like
Fred.
for the fucking listeners who would watch this movie, they'd be confused watching it.
Sure.
Fred is up there because she sneezed him away while she's making her romantic salad. He's up there listening. He falls off, and she's like, "This is my goodbye pill, the green one. I'm gonna take it." And he's like, "Just listen,
It's the last
just listen
pill.
to the phone call." And she cracks the door open ever so slightly and listens to it.
Hears it all.
And then she like doesn't feel good, passes
out.
to him.
She turns into, as she like falls onto him, like phase shifts through him into like a hologram kind of thing.
Yeah.
And she ends up in through like Fred, as yellow lights flash. She disappears into this maybe imaginary friend land or whatever this may be.
It's her house though that she went to.
It is her house.
It's her mother's house that she.
She basically falls into her subconscious, is what I was thinking. And this world is weird where Elizabeth can use magic. She conquers her fear of her mother and eventually encounters herself as a child tied up by the tape, which I put, she lets her child free from both the physical and metaphorical restraints. That was the proverbial tape holding the Jack-in-the-Box closed. And Fred lets her know that he has to go now. And she's like, "Oh, I'm so happy you're free." But he's like, "No, I can't be in your life anymore. Like, I have to go now. We fulfilled yourself." And I think this was her coming to terms with her young self, letting that child go so that he could go now.
There's a real tongue-in-cheek ending.
This isn't even the ending either.
I know, but this
It's
part
a
of it
climax.
was.
It is the
I
climax.
would say it's a climax, but tongue-in-cheek, on the nose, whatever you want to call it, like very untying her duct tape child self from a bed of her mother's.
Oh, fuck. My mom just texted me. She said, "Add this to your podcast, please," as we're doing an episode for her.
Is it Drop Dead Fred?
I think it's Rhinestone is what it's called.
No.
That sounds dumb.
It does sound
Sorry, Mom.
dumb.
Anyway, continue with your thoughts.
I just thought it was too on the nose, like I said already. It was just like,
I thought it was beautiful. I almost cried.
it's a nice...
He's like, "I've got to go now." And she's like, "Oh, where are we going?" She's like, "No, like..."
They did it in a way...
You can see the metaphors, which
That's
is
what I'm
like
saying.
a
It's not
little
even a metaphor at
ham-fisted.
that
Yeah.
point. Ham-fist is the perfect way to say it, because it's not even a metaphor at that point. It's just like, she's literally freeing her child self. It's not metaphorical at that point.
I just like
It's just what's happening.
I just like the parallels
her
with the
mind.
duct tape on her on the bed and then the Jack-in-the-Box thing as well.
You would like her duct tape in the bed.
Jesus Christ. Come.
No, I think Brandon makes a lot of points. He makes a lot of points.
He does make a
No,
lot
I
of
do-
points, doesn't he?
I do make points. I do be out here making points.
I like his points as well.
You like my points?
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of,
I mean, I'm not
I think
swaying you on the movie, but movie.
I think you make a lot of sense. I think the vision becomes clear here, and I like how it's kind of blurred between reality and metaphor as well, a little bit, because that kind of fits
Nice.
in with the movie ending and her sort of like, she like goes to hug him, and it's like she becomes one with him or whatever, and then she's back in reality. There
I
goes gravity.
nice. I put
Oh, there goes Rabbity.
he can't be in her life anymore. But my one thing that I was
Joke.
very weirded out about was
He knows that, but he's broke.
I put that so they kiss and he disappears. Why did she have to kiss him?
I got
Yeah.
a list. It's an order on my list that it's in. Yeah, the kiss was a little.
It goes Reggie,
Ambitious.
Jay-Z, Tupac, and Biggie.
Andre from Outkast, Nas, and then me.
Nas and then me.
Yeah,
Sorry, I had to get that out of my system.
sure.
But yeah, you were saying, Lucas, sorry.
A kiss.
Kiss, kiss.
It was a little ambitious. I
Yes.
thought that they kind of made their point, and then they're like, how can we top the point? How can we make the climax more climaxy? Let's make them kiss.
Yeah. I did not care for that kiss at all.
I didn't
Same.
either.
In the slightest. And it's funny because the whole movie, in her adult form, when
Movie.
she's like meeting Fred again, I felt a sexual tension the entire time.
Really, you did?
Yeah,
A little bit.
of course. Oh, sorry.
Oh, yanking on your headphones.
Well, it's just
I'm just surprised that you both are saying this now because
natural. You didn't?
No, I did.
Okay.
I'm just surprised that you guys are as well.
You think we're stupid or something?
No, but
You're saying we're lesser than you because we don't make as much money, Brandon?
No,
he's really
I
Wow.
understand.
that guy.
I'm not elitist, okay?
Turn it off.
I'm
Stop
not a crook.
recording.
Just because I walk around in a wheelchair all day, Brandon.
You don't. Jesus.
Nobody walks around in a wheelchair, Brandon. That's the joke, you elitist scum. you
I'm an elitist,
would.
ableist.
you heretic little fucking punk ass bitch.
What's having ass.
Wait, what did you just say?
4-limb having ass.
Jesus Christ.
What's the next note? We gotta
So
hurry up and
close.
finish this movie thing. Do a pause for Lucas, and then get to the
Sure.
rest of it.
So anyway, yeah, the kiss. I was concerned about it. Going back to
kiss,
no, we can't. You said get back to it. I put the how did this
Centripetal.
get, the how did
That's
this get made
should
thing.
I
They
point?
said it was like her exploring her own sexuality because Jason Mantzoukas said it was all about horniness in this movie. Like it was a very horny movie.
Yeah, very much so.
And but like you should develop a sexual relationship with yourself before anybody else.
So that's
And
the
so that was her
climax?
kissing
She's
her own self
masturbating?
as a
The climax is a literal climax.
as a projection of her own id, which I didn't fully grasp that. I'm deferring a little bit on that, but
I can get it.
I know entirely what he.
you get it.
I could get it.
So anyway, she after they kiss and everything, Elizabeth wakes up on the floor of her home. She has one pill left to get rid of Fred, and instead of taking it, she pockets it. She then goes over to Charlie's place, dumps his ass, and wipes a fucking booger on his neck.
Oh,
She boogs
Yep.
him,
She goes
and then
goes to her mom's house, tells her mom's like kind of like all disappointed and saying all this nasty shit. But she hugs her. Yeah, this is pretty good stuff, and tells her
She
to touch
hugs
grass.
her, and then she burns the shit out of her.
oh, she totally did burn the shit out of her. But I
Touch
thought
grass.
it was. I almost cried here. I
You
thought
should make some friends. Bitch, mic drop, moved.
Yeah,
I feel
you need a
sorry
friend.
for you.
Boom.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for you.
What a
But
power
she-
move to just like move.
She did power move her, but I think she also, in a moment of clarity, kind of forgave her mother. Like she didn't like fucking just like roast, like overly roast the shit out of her and like ostracize her for the trauma she put her through. She's like, you need a friend, which subliminally was a fucking roast that the mom probably didn't get.
Do you think it was maybe more that after hearing how lonely her mother was,
Mother.
her mother said she was lonely.
Uh-huh.
Liz hears that because she's been lonely her whole life, hugs her, holding her, hoping to feel what it felt like to have a mother.
A mother. Yeah.
that she wanted.
Exactly.
And like did not forgive her at that moment though, because she was hoping in that moment there'd be some sort of spark that was like they could reconnect. She didn't feel it, felt as cold as she ever has with her mother her entire life, says you should find a friend, alluding
to replace the void of Elizabeth leaving her.
yeah, says you should find a friend, alluding to Fred that she had
Of
because
course.
she
Mm.
like, forcibly had to make him, and then leaves not fully forgiving but moving on and accepting.
Moving on and accepting
Moving.
for sure. Nice. I don't think she's telling her to get a Fred of her own, but yes, in a way.
Yeah, well, I wasn't
That
saying
would have been the better
specifically.
ending.
I think it's. I'm just thinking
The
it's.
mom
it's
got Fred.
no, I honestly.
The
as soon as
mom
she
is
said
just
that,
smearing poop on her own carpet.
when she said you should get your own friend. I knew it wasn't gonna happen, but I was hoping the same thing.
That's
Same thing
better
as
ending.
Lucas. Just
So,
yeah.
a very emotional confrontation with her mom. The mom in that moment also told her that she was a mistake and she's only had a child to save her own marriage with her father.
Yeah.
And that Elizabeth was the one that made her father divorce her.
And you thought she forgave her immediately after hearing that?
Not immediately, but she could have absolutely just
Like a
just
Christ-like forgiven.
basically, yeah, she could have left the scene there, but she hugged
Oh.
her, which is a.
Because Christ was so detached from people. He
Yep.
could forgive
But
whatever.
think about the American bison, Lucas.
I always am.
They're always on the
Forefront
mind.
of my religious foundations.
So I put good
or lack thereof.
good clarity, one up in her mother. At the end, saying that she needs a friend. Elizabeth is now stopping by, saying hello to Mickey. When the
Mickey, my
babysitter
friend.
yeah,
I'll send you guys a video later.
yeah, Elizabeth stopping by, saying hello to Mickey. When Natalie, his daughter's babysitter, freaks out because she is destroying the house, saying an imaginary friend is causing all of this havoc. and that this Fred's name that she keeps uttering is Drop Dead Fred. And you see Drop Dead Fred from Natalie's perspective,
Gus.
but from Gus. But from Elizabeth's perspective, you
Gus.
can't see him anymore. But she knows he is still there with Natalie now. And that is the end of Drop Dead Fred.
Wait. We got it.
All right.
He died.
That no, she didn't die. That is
Fred.
the end of our movie.
That's the end of my beer.
That's the end of your beer. Second one?
Yeah,
Nice.
unfortunately.
You want to pause, Lucas?
Yeah, we'll take a little break. We'll meet you on the other side. Maybe have a little sponsor, and we'll see you on the other side, and we'll see you.
Maybe a little pee.
Sponsor now, go!
Brandon, you
Are you
recording
still
the video right
recording
now?
the call?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Missed it. What did you say?
What did I say?
Yeah. We got our
Nothing.
headphones off. Oh.
Why are our cans so beat to shit?
Go pee, Seth.
Mine are fine. I'm gonna go pee. I was asking Brandon if we were being recorded on video right now because I know this is going on YouTube, but it's also hot as shit. I want to take my shirt off.
You're gonna get so cold out there.
You're right. I'll be back then.
I don't
Jesus.
That's the only problem with the YouTube videos is I can't input the audio from the podcast into the videos itself, like all of the editing and stuff that I do, because we have to do these pauses and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I can't splice the video the way I do the audio.
That'd be a ton of extra.
It would be I would spend 30 hours a week on podcasting stuff on top of the 60 hours I've worked this week.
You could send some of it to me, who only works like 30 hours.
Yeah, but you would still need to 30 hours.
Dude, I was doing that last night with JD and Rat Boy. They were not getting the reference.
30 hours?
Yeah.
You would still
they were talking about moving to Texas. It's like a 22-hour drive, and I was like 30 hours.
You would still need to wait for me to finish editing the audio of the podcast, which I usually finish by like Friday and whatnot, and then do it all Saturday, Sunday, and do the movie and the recording and whatnot. So it's very easy for me to just upload this stream to YouTube, and you can get the uncut versions of all the candid shit.
Okay, well, send me some work because we just talked about how I was up until 7 last night.
You could
not
be our
doing
beer
anything.
guy.
It's such little work.
I know, but
I'm going to the bathroom.
Go to
You've
the
insulted
bathroom.
me for the last
Look
time.
at Caesar. Lucas, Caesar misses you. He hasn't had his heart ripped out in ages.
What about a puppuccino?
Oh my god, he loves. So I got Marina on pumpkin too. She's found out that she likes the flavor of pumpkin, like pumpkin bread, pumpkin ice cream,
Spice.
things like that. She doesn't drink coffee, but she's found that she really likes the flavor of pumpkin. So now we're a family of pumpkin lovers.
Everybody but Louie.
Louis likes pumpkin, not as much as Caesar.
You should feed Louie raw pumpkin only.
We fed Caesar raw pumpkin. My parents came over to Missoula once in our apartment at Crestview, and Carter and Aaron came over, and we were carving pumpkins and all the guts and whatnot. We knew pumpkin was good for dogs, and so we gave like Louis a little bit, and he like kind of chomped it with his half jaw and whatnot. But we gave Caesar to it, and he fucking I don't know if he remembered the pumpkin spice lattes you made him or whatnot, but he loves pumpkin so much.
It's really good for their digestion too.
Yeah, and I went to
that's
Petco at Brooks and Reserve, and they had like pumpkin blueberry treats, like milk bones, basically. I bought some of those. Oh, Caesar destroyed his pumpkin.
You guys should start growing a pumpkin for him.
Exactly. I remember
Have it
living in
fun.
our expressway apartment when we had Pocket there too, and you would make the pumpkin spice lattes for each of them during the day, and like Caesar would drink his, and Pocket was just too afraid of Caesar, so he would just defer and let Caesar
another one.
drink. Like, so Caesar had 4 pumpkin spice lattes today. We're like, well, no wonder he's got diarrhea.
That's great.
What were those? Just water and like a flavoring, like spice mix? What was that?
I think so. Yeah, I got them at like a race thing, like
At a rice
at like
thing.
the race thing, the Paza
Oh.
thing.
Oh, okay. Remember when you fucking destroyed it in that 5K?
Beat Carter.
Yeah, we all doubted you, and you showed us up.
And then I threw up.
You did throw up a lot. You threw up a lot in just in general.
Carter threw up at that too, though.
He did.
We were not in the best shape, but I ran really fast.
You were in pretty good shape. You were running a lot.
I think after that is when I really hit the ground running.
Kick him in. You'll die.
You were like 160 pounds.
Of pure sex.
Just oozing sex, like left and right.
It smells sweet.
Smells sweet?
Yeah, like cookies.
Like, does sweat smell like sweet?
One of our pheromones smell like a batch of cookies.
Well, you know the scent of your own pheromone, so it sounds like you're very attracted to my pheromone. Are we about to kiss? This is off audio right now. People are leading with so much tongue.
That's a normal amount of time to lead with at a first kiss.
You just literally went on a first kiss. You went.
Brandon, how many? I've had a lot of first kisses, and they've all been just like that.
Same.
Just like that.
Yeah.
Just like that. I have not had that same. Jesus Christ. Are we ready to get back into this movie?
Yep, I'm ready.
Okay. Oh, he died. He fucking died.
I saw it this time.
I'm so glad.
He actually might be dead this time. Darkness.
Movie. Mother. All right, are you ready? Okay. 1, 2, 3, play. Oh, he fucking died again.
Fuck.
That's so funny.
It's a bit good to come back to.
So that's
after
the
the
end
pause.
of the movie. I know that I wanted to talk to you about the end because like the whole pediatrician scene with like the world of imaginary friends. The podiatrist, the foot doctor, yeah. Where I was like, oh, he's a projection of her id. He's his own being, and then he has this other manifestation of other friends in this that she can't see or anything.
Not her id, but yeah.
It is her id.
No.
It is your primal beings. He's all about, as a child, it's like things that are unholy to you. Like as a young girl, it's got to be farts. It's got to be sex, like looking up the skirts and whatnot of the women, exploring your sexuality, things like that. They talk about killing people and chopping heads off a lot. That's not ego or super ego.
They talk about which one is finding your place in society, though. That's more apt to what's going on, because that's what's going on when you're a child, is finding your place in the world.
That's decent, actually. But she is working on her own primal instincts, like I said, sex and
so
violence and things like that. No.
He goes so far into the id because she's so focused on the super ego because of what her mother has shown her, that the ego is the end goal, but the id is what Fred is to balance out the super ego and id.
That's
imbalance.
What I'm saying. She's searching for ego, but Fred is id. Is the manifestation of id.
I just argued myself into disagreeing with myself. That's awesome.
He's like id, and so I was like, oh, all these other friends are just a manifestation of her own id, basically, and it's just a world. But then when you see Natalie with Fred, it's like, oh, maybe there is an imaginary world for imaginary
I think
friends.
the movie is better if that's the case. If we kind of take that left turn at the end where it's like, oh, these people are actually real. This is who she actually saw the whole time. And then she had like a sort of grand ending with him at the end, instead of like saying goodbye to her it or whatever sort of metaphorical way. She's actually saying goodbye, but he's still around for real too. I think it's a better movie that way.
Oh, okay. I do like the idea that even though it conflicts what my ideas were about it, that he's now on to another child that may need him. Quit that.
Sorry.
He's now helping another child that may need his manifestations and character to explore her own life and get through her own traumas.
Yeah.
Like it does kind of help that side, but it hurts the id argument.
It doesn't necessarily hurt the id argument or the message that the movie's trying to convey and that you have definitely felt yourself. I think it more to give the movie more credit than it deserves again. It's a network of ids out there to fight the superego that's running rampant in just modern day society as a whole.
But people can share the same id, basically? Because
id is so primal. It's not something that's like very specific to each person. It's every one of us has the same id, but we don't necessarily have the same ego and superego.
Sure.
But we do have the same primal desires to eat, fucking sleep.
We do all have the same primal instincts. I guess it's true. Just when she calls him out by name, it makes it seem like Drop Dead Fred was not necessarily just hers on her own, you know?
No,
and so
it wasn't.
It makes it seem like maybe she wasn't the one smearing the poop on the carpet or things like that.
She was.
And like I'm saying she is, but
Drop Dead was not hers.
It muddies the water, yeah.
It does muddy it, but who cares?
Yeah, who cares? This is a movie. This is a magical realm of cinema that we have indulged in week after week to talk to you folks and bring you content.
And I think this week we got a sort of psychological, sort of textbook psychological allegory, which I think Brandon's aptly pointed out, and I think
aptly
is pretty on display here. Yeah.
I think when my mom suggested this film, she was not thinking that any of this would have occurred.
Are you sure?
She's like, "Oh, this is like a funny movie." No, my mom definitely wasn't thinking of id.
Yeah, but she knows you well enough that she would say, "Oh, I know my son. He would dissect this to pieces and make some grand scheme of romantic bullshit that I would never even think would be in this movie because it's not there."
She did think it's so funny, in her words. So
it's interesting that it can work on both of those levels, ostensibly, with Mrs. Brandon liking it for the pure comedy, while Brandon sort of diving deep into the psychological intellectualism of it all.
I thought it was more of a sad film than a funny film.
I didn't think it was either. I'm sorry.
You just thought it was a film.
I'm a
sorry,
Seth
Karen.
too. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're through that.
Mrs. Brandon.
I know. I know you're looking for your phone for quotes.
I am, yeah.
So we're gonna dive into some quotes, ratings, and reviews. Maybe some quotes. Okay. I have a lot of quotes actually. Lucas, how many do you have?
I think I have 6 quotes.
I have 13. Lucas has 6. Seth's looking for his phone. I'm sure he has more than you do at the moment.
Don't move the chair.
I'm not.
Found
you found your phone.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to start it off and do half of yours? I'm sure Seth has more than you, Lucas.
I certainly do.
Sure.
Seth says he certainly has more than 6.
This one is from Drop Dead Fred. He says, "The mega bitch squashed my head. The bitch, the evil one reigns supreme."
I erased that quote with the "It's the mega bitch" because I knew that somebody would have taken that. So
yeah, I wrote that one down.
You wrote mega bitch?
Yeah.
Okay. Next one, Lucas. Ooh.
When Liz is sad about Charles dumping her, Drop Dead Fred says, "Can he make you puke?" Then she sadly goes, "Not like you can."
The sexual tension starts.
And then my last one for now is when they're on the houseboat of the therapist. He's going to be a pirate.
Condominium boat? Condominium paddle houseboat? Yeah.
Fred goes, "Drown the fishies, kill all the pirates."
Did not take that.
I like that one though.
How many do you have, Seth?
Just trying to kill everybody. I have 10.
Go ahead and do 5 of yours.
Go ahead. So this is right after he rubs shit all over the carpet.
Okay.
He says, "I'm having a hard time redoing this because it's the way he said it that made me want to quote it." But he goes, "I love hide and seek." But it was something like squeaky and fucked up like that.
Your thing was just a block of sound.
Yeah,
I love it.
That's gonna be the first time I've ever been that loud. There's the mega bitch one. I guess I have 9 then. Goodbye forever. I hope you die horribly.
Ooh.
This is when he runs off and gets hit by the fire truck. And I wrote that down because I say goodbye forever all the fucking time.
Really?
Especially at work. Because like, goodbye forever. And people are like, "No, don't leave forever." And I'm like, "Too bad. Sorry."
Bye.
Yeah, exactly. But like more melancholy.
Every
and
day
then
after work, he gets hit by a fire truck.
Oh man, what a great ending that would be. Let's see. Oh, this is right after he cuts her hair when she's sleeping on the boat, and he's like hitting her with the hair, and he's trying to wake her up. He says, "Wake up! Look what I've done!" Like she's gonna be happy
Yeah.
about it.
Chopped off all my fucking hair. He's decent barber.
Decent barber, pretty
That-
straight lines.
That was a good cut.
Yeah, that was a good cut.
I think she looked better with the shorter hair.
You're a weird guy. You're both weird guys. And then my last one for now, I suppose. Oh, what is this in reference to? I gotta like start writing down context. What the fuck is this in reference to? It says, am I missing something? Is this a girly thing?
No, I don't know that.
And it's
Everything that Fred saw was like, oh, is this a girly thing? Like anything with love was a girly thing.
I'm gonna have to find it. You guys,
He had a
No.
machismo streak to him. Brandon's right.
he did. You guys get on to your quotes. I gotta find what this is
Okay.
from.
My first one is when Fred first comes into the movie and it's at breakfast and whatnot. And Elizabeth goes, I said piss off. And the mom's like, excuse me? She's like, I'm not saying it to you. And the mother goes, well, it's no wonder Charles left you. He's like, oh, fuck. Goodness gracious, mother.
I remember.
She's
what it
crazy,
was.
though.
She is crazy. I have a quote from Marina here because she was in there.
Ooh.
She watched the fire truck scene and Marina was like, she wasn't paying attention. She goes, well, if the fire truck could see him from so far away, why didn't they stop? And they just ran him over. It's like, Marina, he's an imaginary friend.
There's a lot to unpack here.
She was like, why would they just murder him in the street? Why are the firefighters murdering people? Which I thought was so
They're
funny.
not police, yeah.
I have a really sad quote when like Fred first popped after he cut her hair and she's like in bed or whatnot. And Fred's talking to her. I don't remember exactly what it goes, but Elizabeth goes, I should have never let my mother know how much she could hurt me. And I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Elizabeth.
Yeah, because then she delved into, she did it all the time because she knew she could, and I hid my real emotions so that my mother could never take advantage of it.
That is so sad.
Yeah.
There's no way the mother is not torturous in that. That is trauma.
I think it's a great quote for, I mean, just in general. I
In
think
general.
people do that with more relationships than just their family, so that's
Morbius relationships.
Morbius.
We're going to say Morbius so much next week.
Is that what's next week?
That is what's next week.
Spoiler.
We already said them all next week except for one. Oh,
Can we say that one?
we should say that one today.
Morbius.
Morbius. Let's see.
You say it, Lucas.
Morbius.
I meant like
so I have one with Fred talking to Elizabeth when she's like,
Morbius.
when
Morbius.
Charles has like divorced her or is asking for a divorce and leaving her.
Mm.
And Fred goes, well, why don't we just harpoon Charles straight through the head, drag him back to the apartment, and hit him with a hammer until he agrees to come back?
That's romance.
And that's
That
showbiz,
is-
baby.
That's showbiz, baby. That is how I envision my wife to be.
My wife.
Harpoon through my wife.
My wife. Here's another one. It's Elizabeth talking to her mom when they're at breakfast again. Elizabeth goes, Mother, do you remember when I was little, I had a friend, he was a make-believe? And the mom goes, no. And she's like, don't you remember? I could only see him. She goes, no, I don't remember Drop Dead Fred at all. She's like, oh, so she definitely.
She's so.
I don't even remember Drop Dead Fred at all.
Do you remember when you traumatized me as a child, Mother? No, I don't remember like cutting off your hair against your will or anything. Not that she did, but she could have.
I have one at the. Fuck. Oh, I do have the puke. Can he make you puke? Not like you can, Fred. Okay. I have one when they're at the wine tasting thing, and it's Annabelle and Charlie talking back and forth together after Elizabeth leaves, and he goes, "You are like a lush Baj 83, a fine wine sure to age well." I was like, what the fuck does that even mean?
Yeah. And then she goes, "Oh, my Pinot Noir."
Yeah, exactly. Oh, my Pinot Noir. I thought
That's
I wrote
what
that
adulthood is like, you guys.
down. That's what
like-
growing up feels
Can't
like.
wait till you guys join me.
And my last one for
Didn't mean to laugh like that.
my last one for right
People
now.
are gonna stop.
Yes.
I got a cup of tea up to my lips right now.
All right, you can join me now, Seth.
I did it. Fuck you, Brandon. Be born earlier or something.
Fuck me. My last one here is from the Helga, the nurse.
Yeah.
And she goes, she's like, brought her a bunch of food and the pills, and the nurse goes, Helga goes, now don't eat that napkin, dear. I've got a black belt, and I can break you like. And she snaps her fingers, and she's like, you're gonna behave, conscious or unconscious. Don't make a difference to me. I was like, whoa.
She's getting
that's
paid.
one of my quotes.
I'm sorry.
She's getting paid 6 figures either way.
Jesus. Nurses don't. Usually, unless they're traveling or specialty.
Your elitist side is really coming out, Brandon.
I know.
I was gonna try to find a different way to make you seem like an asshole this season, but you're really pushing this elitist.
I'm glad we're pushing the season aspect too. It shows that we're standing like a legit.
Yeah, we're not an unseasoned show. We got some flavor.
Flavor Flav. Lucas, finish your quotes off.
So I only have 2 to finish it off. One is her mantra.
He's trying to kiss me.
At the beginning of the movie, her mantra is, I don't need a man to complete my life. I'm perfect the way I am, and I hate Charles.
Jesus.
Which is why I thought she was her therapist, because she's like, say your mantra.
Sure. Yeah. I guess that checks out. But no, not a therapist.
Yeah. Well, because she started that by saying, "Oh, I was at this seminar this weekend, and this is what they taught us."
I was at this therapist seminar,
which sounds like one of those hotel lobby fucking pyramid schemes.
It's definitely a convention center hotel thing. Yeah.
Like Yes Man.
Yeah.
Hey, Yes Man. Whereas, actually,
did you say you hate Yes Man?
Yeah, Yes Man's fucking terrible.
Oh, Yes Man's pretty good. Seth is hurt over. Are you on pro Yes Man?
I'm fine. I'm just a little sad.
You're pro Yes Man. Well, I think you like
Pro
Jim
Yes
Carrey
Man.
a lot. You guys both like Jim Carrey a lot more than I do.
And I like Yes Man.
If you hate Jim Carrey, I get it. I'm still upset. It's fine.
If you hate Drew Carey as well, I mean, it's fine. But
fuck that guy.
I like Drew Carey.
Drew Carey's a piece of shit, dude. What do you mean?
Whose Line Is It Anyway is an amazing show.
Okay, but isn't he the guy that had like a dead hooker in his trunk, and they were like, "Oh, we can't find a way to trace this back to you."
I didn't know that.
I don't know. That's my phone, Brandon.
Mickey at one point when he realizes and he's falling in love with Liz, he goes, "You're crazy in the most wonderful way."
He was just absolutely smitten by her.
He was a psychopath.
Yeah. He was a psychopath, and the end of the movie made it
one earring.
And the movie made it seem like they're gonna end up together.
Good.
Kind of.
Good for them. And then my last one here is from Little Liz when they're messing around.
From Little Mickey.
Little Liz, she says, "Wow, my first real mud pie." When they make a mud pie.
It's just a pile of literal mud and cornflakes and a birthday hat and the spring from the Jack in the Box.
Correct. Pretty funny.
I was talking about
Morbius
last week's episode and how we kept referencing Lady Gaga to my friend Ratboy.
Fucking Lady Gaga came up so much.
But I almost said Lil Gaga instead of Lady Gaga.
Oh my god.
So I think I'd like that to be my rap name.
That's a good one.
Lil Gaga?
Lil Gaga. I think it's cool. But the quote, I just remember the context too. The "Am I missing something? Is this a girly thing?" It's Carrie Fisher character talking to Liz, or about Liz, to Murr.
Oh yeah.
And she's like, she's my friend. Like, she's got this guy. Like, Fred has visited her last night, and he goes, "Am I missing something? Is this a girly thing?" like Drop Dead Fred is like an Aunt Flo kind of. Analogy, yeah. I actually like that. What are you showing me? How great I am? Oh my god, that's awesome.
Seth got 182 fantasy points this week.
Should have been 210. This next
His opponent has 80.
This next one's also Murr. I never had imaginary friends, just wet dreams.
Oh fuck. God damn it.
Did I take it?
Yeah, that was my one Murr quote.
Small note, when they're sinking the boat.
Jinjo!
When they're sinking the boat and He's dressed as a pirate. He has a gun tucked in his waistband.
Really?
There's a fucking flintlock pistol.
Nice.
Just thought everybody should know.
Flintlock?
Is that not right?
Well, like flint.
Like Flintlock would.
No, like from Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
Yeah.
Flint ones are usually like the muzzle kind of thing. Where
Are they? They're not like the click back and shoot once.
No, those are no.
Okay, not that then.
It's like, damn, he had like a muzzle revolver in his pocket. Jesus. Okay, continue.
This one, she goes to Carrie Fisher's place of work where she's in the business meeting, and she's like, "I have some terrible news." She goes, "What is it?" She goes, "Remember your house?" Like, just
good way to start.
Oh yeah, I do remember my house. Of course, obviously, it's a condo boat.
It's my favorite quote to take is the ones out of context. Oh, this is when she's punching what she assumes to be Fred and also admitting the lecherous nature of her and Murr's relationship. Because Murr's like, "What do you mean? They're not doing anything. He's not there." And she's like, "That's because he's invisible, you idiot." Like, yells at him. Oh. After she's down at the therapist's office with the little green pills, all the other imaginary friends are like, "Don't take those."
Yeah.
And he's like, "What do they do? Make you sick? Make you stupid? I'm Fred. I'll take them."
He's so confident.
He's ready to party.
Yeah.
What he's fucking doing.
Thought it was Addie's.
I suppose this is my last one. They're at the wine gala, which she likes to pronounce gala for some reason. Maybe I'm saying it wrong. Who knows? But she's there with Fred, and she spots Charles. And she goes, "There he is," and then it pans over to a shot of like 17 identical-looking dudes in suits. Honestly, could not tell you which fucking one of them was Charles in that shot until they zoomed in on him. Just there he is, and it's just all the same guy. Which I want to...
A field of 35-year-old white men.
30 to 40-year-old white men with the same haircut and the same suit.
A suit.
I want to hope that it's intentional on the part of the director to give them more credit for like the 5th time I've done in the last 2 hours.
I don't think Art DeJong was looking for that one there, but maybe.
Rewatch the scene and tell me it's not intentional. It's so funny.
So I found one of my quotes here was actually... The earlier one was not the Pinot Noir one that they said. This is another one right in the wine tasting too, like maybe a minute later. And they go, "Are you okay, my love?" And he goes, "I think so, my little Gewürztraminer." And she's like, "Oh, my little Pinot Noir." And I was like, calm down with the baby names. No one's ever called somebody a Gewürztraminer.
That's true love.
True love.
Gewürztraminer. It's clearly German.
I've had a German wine that sounds like that.
I already took the wait. Isn't it better that I said "Oh, Annabelle" when I'm here with you rather than "Oh, Lizzie" when I'm with Annabelle? Let's see. I've only got 3 more. I've got one when we meet the dad, really, when she's doing the cornflake shit and whatnot, and little Elizabeth goes, "Daddy, why don't we throw Mommy out the window? It won't hurt her. She'll land in the gladiolas." Those are the flowers.
Yeah, thank you.
And her dad,
her
dad, whose name apparently was Nigel, goes, "You shouldn't say those things about your mother. She might cut your head off," which shows just how diabolical he thinks she is too.
Yeah.
That is an unhealthy relationship from the get-go.
For all of them.
Yeah.
What's the opposite of a love triangle?
A death triangle.
I hate torpedo.
What?
I hate torpedo. There it is. Yeah.
That makes more sense. The opposite of love isn't death. The opposite of love is hate torpedo.
The opposite of triangle isn't triangle.
The opposite of triangle isn't torpedo.
That's true.
Of course it is.
No, it's not.
You can't fire triangles out of submarines, Brandon. Get out of here.
I didn't think
He's
we were
right.
thinking everything in like
anything that's not
maritime,
a torpedo is the opposite.
I didn't think
of a
we're
torpedo.
thinking everything in maritime law here under sub-ocean warfare. Jesus.
You think everything that isn't a fish is a bird?
No, I'm not saying that.
This guy.
Okay, 2 more. This is right after that. Try not to what?
He said penultimate, not try not to.
I said try not to. I was like,
You're losing, Brandon.
Penultimate quote.
You're losing your touch.
This is after the the scene with the father, and
I'm
the
coming
mother
for the
leaves.
throne.
She's so upset, and Fred goes, "I'm not afraid of the mega beast." And little Elizabeth goes, "I'm not either. When she comes in here, we'll make her eat up all this mud on the table." And he goes, "Yeah, and then we'll cut her head off." And she's like, "With scissors." He's like, "Yeah, and then we'll make her eat it." And she's like, "Wait, make her eat her own head? With what?" And Fred goes, "Oh yeah, well I'll eat her head then." She's like, "And I'll eat the rest of her." And Fred goes, "Yeah, and then we'll get up and we'll poo all over the table because we're not afraid of anything." I was like, that's what makes you brave, is shitting on a table out your mother that you've eaten.
Did you hear the quote you just read?
I did.
And you're gonna proceed forward with the rating you're gonna give
Uh-huh.
next time.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, okay.
4.1.
I cannot believe how divisive this movie is.
It was divisive on How Did This Get Made. I knew it was going to be divisive here, so it's going to be fun. This is also really long. My last one is at the imaginary world. Fred goes, "Just kiss me and say Drop Dead Fred. Now."
He did say now. It turned him into such like a classic love interest.
Mm-hmm.
Like those black and white movies like Shut Up, Dollface. Oh,
Yeah, Dollface, exactly.
Blank went on me. Yeah. Like, where the fuck did that come from?
It was a little weird.
Besides the sexual tension that all of us noticed.
And felt.
But
Okay.
we didn't feel like an old school sexual tension.
No, it's not 40s, 50s.
It's like Cary Grant and Katharine Hepburn, yeah.
No, just like a meet cute, like, you know.
Who the fuck
girl
is Cary
meets
Grant?
Imaginary
Cary
friend.
Grant.
Oh, Cary. Okay. I was like,
Bitch.
hey. All right. Quotes are done, which means ratings. Lucas, we're starting with you today. Rotten Tomatoes critics, tomato meter, percentage.
31.
Seth?
Rotten Tomato. I may have seen this. 11.
You've seen it. It's 11.
Yeah.
Seth is correct today.
Good job.
There you go.
Good guess.
I'd like to thank
Rotten Tomatoes.
Drop Dead Fred. He's whispered all the critics' answers in the
So
ear.
have you seen the audience score?
No.
Okay. Lucas, audience. Percentage again.
27.
39.
77.
Holy shit. Holy shit. What?
11 from critics, 77 from audience. Now, remember, Rotten Tomatoes is just a like it or not, and it gets the aggregate there.
Good aggregate.
Good aggregate. IMDb Metascore. Out of 100. Lucas, critics today.
2.4.
I literally tell you guys out of 100 or out of 10.
24. My bad.
24. Okay.
IMDb?
Yes.
5.8.
58?
Yeah.
One of you guys is so close.
It's 56.
It's a 25.
Oh.
Wow, that's me.
Yeah, it is you. And then audience.
I know
thought you were 27.
No, he said 24.
24.
I thought you were 27.
No, he was 20.
I am
Oh, he is
27.
27. Yeah.
Okay.
And then audience out of 10 on IMDb. Lucas.
55.
5.5. Okay.
58.
5.8. One of you guys is so close, which means a lot because you guys are so close to each other.
I think I also saw this.
54.
5.9.
Okay.
Good job, Seth.
Good job, Seth.
I Googled it to look at the cast because
That's right, you did.
for whatever reason.
Is more in line with the people, while I tend to have the critics' ear.
So what are we giving it today,
That would be
Lucas?
we should do stats.
Yes, of course.
Percentage hit or miss.
Yeah, for like who was closer to the critics
Budget.
on
Budget.
Yeah, budget on average.
Now,
Sorry.
why would we do that? Lucas, what are we giving this today?
I think you've made a lot of good points here today, and I maybe hadn't truly considered the psychological implications of this movie completely, because I'm not all that familiar with the ego and superego.
I'm surprised by that.
He's gaslighting.
He is totally gaslighting.
We laughed a lot during this episode. I think the jokes maybe became clear during this. I'm going to give this a 1.9.
Yeah, fuck you.
It would have been a 1.8 if we hadn't swayed him, though.
Maybe. I think... I truly do believe all of what I just said. And I think it's interesting on a lot of levels. I think that Fred is just so wholly unlikable and so disastrously annoying, obnoxious, and virtually unwatchable that every time he's on the screen...
That is Elizabeth, though.
It's, even so, I don't want to watch it.
Okay.
If that little green bastard's on the screen, I want to tear my eyes out in a way that is opposite to the way Nixow makes me feel. Where I feel joy when he's on the screen. This is a Tim Burton Coraline type situation where every time...
Coraline's so good, and that's not even Tim Burton.
No, but Tim Burton / Coraline situation.
Oh, okay.
Every time the animation or any time here Drop Dead Fred is on the screen, I feel revolted.
Anytime you see the vertical or parallel shots from Wes Anderson, you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, precisely, yeah. This is bad style.
I'm just sad because I feel like that's the same score he gave Space Chimps.
No, he gave Space Chimps lower. I think he gave a 0.9 on Space Chimps.
That's right, yeah.
Seth is so upset right now. I love that you bring everything back as a perspective to Space Chimps.
I just like to put things in perspective for Lucas. Because he's been talking more shit about Drop Dead Fred than he ever talked about Space Chimps. And this is apparently double the score.
Higher,
yeah. You go first, actually.
Oh, because you're on the fence.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting. We know my stance here. Lucas is a Team Sanity. I'm a team... No, definitely not.
He wouldn't do that on a whim.
I'm a Team Fred here. I love that this is all about childhood innocence and projecting it through the imaginary friend, whether he's real or not. It did muddy the waters with the ending and maybe some of the imaginary scene friends, but showing the innocence of childhood and growing from that and coping with it until you're at a healthy place in your life. This is a 7.2 kind of movie for me. 7.2. It is. I loved it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I didn't think the Fred scenes were overly funny. That's why I'm saying this is kind of a real kind of sad movie in a way. It's not a comedy, as many people may point it out to be. And that's my user reviews on Rotten Tomato, bringing out that 77. All of us sad folks realizing the art. Seth.
Oh, all the sad folks realizing the art?
Yeah, we're not realizing it as a comedy. We're realizing it as an artistic piece of emotional distress.
Brandon, you know me.
I do know you.
Yeah. I'm sad a lot.
21.6.
21.6 probably. Just because it's just like a natural way to be for me, you know? I'm cool like that. I think it did a bad job in both areas.
In comedy and sadness?
Yeah. I think it was all around just bad. But it did have its redeeming moments because it was fine. Sometimes.
Is Seth being the neutral one here? This is weird.
I'm always the neutral one.
No.
I just play the part of the villain. Always.
And I'm the dad.
Lucas, you said 1.8?
1.9.
1.9. You said 7.2. 4.55.
Right in the middle.
Yeah.
You ass.
Because I love and hate this movie. It was kind of fun, but I kind of hated it. So I'm not going to pick a side. I'm just going to give it that number.
Can't believe you.
So I don't ever have to think about it again.
Can't believe you.
Why?
Rounding to the 100th on a lasagna scale. It's never been done before.
I thought he said 1.8, so it would have been 9, 4.5, and then 1.9, or 2 would have been 4.6, so I just know in the middle. But yeah, 4.55. And fuck all your standards. I'm going to do it again next week just to make you mad.
Whoa, on Morbius? How dare you?
10.15.
10.15. Okay. We haven't even seen it yet. Lucas is astounded.
He's out of control.
We need to stop him.
This is the straw that broke
but next week, supposedly,
Space Chimps back.
Devin's going to be back, so you can have an advocate of people that don't watch movies as the layman to correlate with.
Hell yeah, dude. I'm so excited.
Okay.
I love that guy.
Reviews, we're finishing it off. 3 critics.
I'm so sorry.
Margaret Lyons, Entertainment Weekly, says, is it supposed to be hilarious or a really, really depressing story about the long-term effects of emotional abuse? Jesus Christ, Lucas.
He's fine.
What'd I do?
So much noise.
He was muted.
No, I don't think he was, because he was like, what did I do? I'll have to edit that out.
There's no mic noise on here.
See? You'll be fine.
I don't know about that. I catch all of your movements on that leather couch. When I compress the audio to make it uniform, I have to cut out all the leather couch audio.
Well, you won't have to cut that one, I promise.
It's really just a testament to how still he is when he records these. I don't hear a lot of couch movement.
There's so much I have to edit out.
You're welcome.
Anyway, yeah, is it supposed to be hilarious or a really, really depressing story about the long-term effects of emotional abuse? This is exactly what I said. It's not funny. It's sad about the abuse.
Read the review, Brandon. Don't put your own words in there.
That's
talked
Margaret
about it
Lyons.
already.
Yeah. Next, Angie Arrigo, Empire Magazine. They say, there is scarcely a laugh to be had unless you are... Why is that funny? There is scarcely a laugh to be had unless... Why is that funny?
Because Seth's laughing.
This is scarcely.
We're having plenty of it.
I told you I didn't want to do it.
Okay, there is scarcely a laugh to be had unless you are 6 years old or immoderately fond of such wheezes as depositing dog poop on a white carpet.
It's not funny.
The review or the movie?
Both.
Okay. And my last critic review is Alexander Larman of The Telegraph. He says, a sophisticated and ahead of its time black comic exploration of both anxiety and depression.
Who is that?
Alec Larman at The Telegraph.
I think that's fair.
Alexander Graham Bell of The Telephone.
Nice. And then user reviews. We're finishing off. First one, Smell Like Cheese. Your vote for number one at the bracket to add in.
That's right.
That's
why she was an honorable mention, because I voted for all of them, and I was like, oh wait, Smells Like Cheese. I put her in at 6 and voted number 1. So Marina's like, what the fuck?
Marina was literally doing the votes, and she looks over and she's like, so one of you guys put in the 6. And I was like, was it Seth? She's like,
you did not guess it was me.
She's like, yeah. And I was like, what is the award? She's like, best user review. I was like, who did he write in? We put in Bevo and Seth and then Snoopy. So she's like, he put in Smells Like Cheese as his number 1. I was like, don't count it. Did not make the nomination.
We knew that was coming.
She could have won it all, dude, if you didn't say anything.
Marina was honorable.
That's true.
Smells Like Cheese says, when I was a kid, I enjoyed this movie. I was 6, so automatically it was aimed at my age group. I thought this was possibly the best movie ever. Now, it just got really annoying. I sometimes wonder how adult actors can do this. I guess if you were desperate and looking for a career. It just goes on and on with little kid jokes. It's an okay film. 5 out of 10.
I think that's fair.
Fair? From Smells Like Cheese?
They're as fair as they are intelligent.
Okay. Oh. Okay. Next one. Moonspinner 55.
So really intelligent.
Really intelligent. Genius, some would say. Moonspinner 55 on September 12th, 2004. They say, harried court stenographer reclaims the inner little girl she was never allowed to be via her imaginary childhood pal. Beetlejuice-like slapstick with no attention to the dialogue or characters. Drop Dead Fred loves to insult, and it isn't clear if we should laugh or recoil at lines like, let her eat up and poo her out. Phoebe Cates does some fun double takes, and some of the visual jokes have color. But only Carrie Fisher, playing one of those wisecracking gal pals direct from the 1930s, is really in the spirit of this piece. Everyone else has to duck and cover, particularly Marsha Mason, giving me a let me out of here performance as Phoebe's mother. When the tone switches... Oh, that would be a good one. When the tone switches gears near the finish and we're supposed to see that Kate has found herself through this manic touchstone, it seems an arduous journey. Certainly, a competent psychologist might have helped her on this path a lot sooner. 3 out of 10.
I thought you had a psychologist.
You did. The whole time you did. And we understand that.
A psychologist that went to boardroom meetings.
With Murr.
Sales
and Practical Jokers.
Yeah.
It's obviously the State Standards Association.
Of course. It was obvious to everyone but us.
Next one is...
Well, me and Brandon, not you.
Yeah. Next one is writer of The Office, Lee Eisenberg.
Whoa.
June 14th, 2014. He says, Rick Mile died recently. I had never heard of him, but... You okay, Seth?
What the fuck is that? What kind of review is that?
Rick Mile, that's not the
Bible's
whole...
cool and all. Jesus Christ died for our sins, but
not,
7.
It's not 7. The whole review. Rick Mile died recently. I never heard of him before then, so I decided to watch a movie in which he starred. I determined that Drop Dead Fred's point is that we all need some fun in our lives. True, a lot of the humor is pretty childish, but it's hard not to laugh at Fred's antics. Indeed, Elizabeth goes through a stark state change in the course of action. Overall, the movie sets out to entertain, and it succeeds. There needs to be a film festival for movies reminding of us the need to have fun. Aside from this one, there would be the Zorba the Greek, To Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar, and Chocolat. 6 out of 10.
Lucas, I think you and I are making the same face right now.
I'm making the same face reading this.
I've heard of Chocolat. I've heard Chocolat's a very critically acclaimed movie.
It is.
I don't know the others.
I don't know a single one of the others. But also, I don't completely agree with you, Lee.
He's just name dropping us.
I think the biggest problem with this review is assuming there was a point to this movie.
Whoa.
Well, there wasn't.
You know I've argued this the whole time.
No. You can have a beautiful story with meaning and intrinsic value without having a point to it.
Yeah, what was the point?
Because there's no point to anything, technically.
Now you're
supposed to embrace your inner child?
If you want, sure. But I think I thought the story was more focused on the abuse part of it and not about the inner child. Maybe what she lost from her childhood. But
sure.
Sorry, I don't mean to get back into... Let's go to the next news review.
Okay. This one is my long one this week, and it's not the little songbird. It's anonymous.
The little bluebird.
No. It's anonymous _ Maxine on January 21st, 2003.
Oh, we've had her before.
No, we haven't.
No, we have. Because it's my grandma's name. I remember hearing it.
I don't think so.
But, okay, sure.
January 21st, 2003. They say, I saw it for the first time when I was 13 years old, and I absolutely loved it because I was right in the middle of the age group at which the film was directed. I watched it again recently, and while the film's slapstick comedy did not hold quite the same massive appeal as it did when I was younger, I regretted to discover that I had grown out of a lot of the goofy antics that went on in the movie. However, I was reading through some of the reviews written on IMDb by other users, and was amazed at how offended a couple of people were by this film, revealing in the reviews a total detachment from their own inner selves and a complete misunderstanding for the little people that we call kids. This is a movie that was made for people who are still in touch with their inner child. Drop Dead Fred is a movie that was made for fun, to be enjoyed, laughed at, and respected, for reminding us that we need to lighten up occasionally and, while not necessarily flinging spaghetti in a nice restaurant, act like children every once in a while to prevent ourselves from being driven by the insane by the fast-paced, grayscale, monotonous society that we live in. And if you can't do that, if you hated Drop Dead Fred because you simply can't understand that concept, if indeed you can't do that, you think that Elizabeth is in dire need of psychiatric care, you may want to step back and look closely at your life and your views. You may be the one in need of therapy. 9 out of 10.
That's not why I didn't hate Drop Dead Fred.
Yeah, you didn't make any of these points that justify this kind of review going towards you. But there were, when I did do my research and created the script, there were a lot of those out there. And so,
felt like
Anonymous Maxine. It shouldn't have. You didn't make any of those points.
I felt like Drop Dead Fred was in my house while I was watching this movie.
As I read this review over my shoulder. Made me nervous. It was scary.
This is scarcely.
So, that's what I got. That's my long one. Penultimate review.
Punch.
John Seal, April 8, 2002. He said, only one other reviewer has pointed out that this film is about a mentally disturbed young woman who goes off on destructive jags and blames them on an imaginary friend. She's a schizophrenic, and the film suggests we shouldn't treat the mentally ill. We should let them go their merry way and damn the consequences. If someone covered your living room table with mud and mixed your milk and sugar into it and then blamed an invisible friend for the mess, Wouldn't you at least refer that person to psychiatric care? Instead, the victim, in this case, Marsha Mason, the mother, is depicted as an evil shrew, or super bitch, as imaginary Fred refers to her, who must be tormented endlessly. Incredibly bad filmmaking and astonishingly offensive to the boot. 1 out of 10.
Is this guy's counter treatment to lock up anybody with schizophrenia in a bed and have a
Padded room
nurse?
Yep.
Absolutely
Helga.
not.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. That's fucking stupid.
Schizophrenics do not deserve to live in society.
That's just ignorant to what schizophrenia is at that point. This guy's a fucking idiot, to be honest with you. That's just stupid.
You make
That's
some
all.
points, though.
Afraid of mental health.
Make some points about the movies for sure. Yeah.
I'm wondering if this person might be schizophrenic and is afraid of what they might become themselves.
I don't know.
I think that's a stretch.
I'm making big judgments here. Okay,
that's
Jesus.
about this fucking
We're
guy.
2 hours and 43 minutes in. I'm making judgments.
Oh,
my
God.
ultimate
Go.
My ultimate one is by Bevo. 13678 Bevo.
Bevo.
Bevo. No, we're all just singing different. Lucas started off.
Bevo.
No, Lucas.
Bevo.
No.
Bevo.
Hold a note.
Bevo.
Why did you not take the middle note when I pointed to you?
Don't point at me then.
Bevo.
It makes me nervous.
Bevo. Anyway, Bevo says.
Bevo.
Nailed it.
Bevo.
Dun,
Yeah.
dun, 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 dun.
Bevo.
Anyway, what's this last one?
Bevo.
What's the ultimate review?
Ultimate review by Bevo. Bevo. March 29th, 2020.
Wait, is it actually Bevo?
Yeah, it is. They say sophisticated, classy, and highbrow with witty humor makes this a delightful rom-com. 10 out of 10.
Rom-com, more like. Bevo gave it a 10?
He called it a rom-com too. It's not a romantic comedy.
He kissed her. So there's romance and there's comedy. Tell me it's not a rom-com.
If we kiss, does it make this podcast a rom-com?
It's gonna be a rom-com regardless. There'll just be icing on the cake, brother.
There's just so much tension anyway.
Yeah, there's so much
And
love and comedy.
And we're
it's
so
always a
funny.
rom-com.
Okay. Bevo, 10 out. That's pretty classic Bevo.
Yeah.
Saying shit that doesn't make sense.
I
So,
love
are we
Bevo.
recommending this film, Lucas?
No, I think this is a SNL sketch that escaped and wriggled its way into a Hollywood room, and
Okay.
people said, "Let's make this into 99 minutes of this."
It's just like Wayne's World.
And I think
Well.
I got the movie. I think I just hate Drop Dead
Fred.
the character that much.
Okay.
Yeah, entirely fair.
Seth, are you recommending this film?
I always have to ask to whom.
To
Blanket statement.
your neighborhood Joe, your Looksy-Loo.
Just like some fucking guy.
Yeah.
Do I like him?
I don't know.
Yeah.
This is blanket statement.
Is he kind of like a menace?
No, just blanket statement.
I don't make blanket statements.
You got to right now.
No,
Oh shit.
I won't make a blanket statement.
Oh.
And also, I won't recommend the movie. Your turn.
Oh shit. You know me. I'm recommending this movie. I think it has a great touch on psychology and finding your inner self as a child and going past your trauma and resentments as a child and figuring out your life's goals in a way.
As a child.
As a child. No, as an adult. Even if it's years later, reconciling the things in your past is important. So it's like, oh shit, maybe I should recommend this film. You made a face. Oh no. Okay. We got 2 Team Sanities, 1 Team Fred here, I guess, at the end. And that's going to end it.
I think this movie would be watchable and likable if there was a field goal kicking mule as the main character.
Well,
instead
yes, Gus was pretty great. We all know
Yeah.
Gus.
Or perhaps a cat from outer space.
Oh, could you imagine?
Oh, the
I
things.
couldn't. That would be crazy. So that's gonna end it for this week. Next week we're kicking off Spooktober.
Spectacular Tober.
Spooktober month with Morbius. Yeah, I'm excited for
Morbin
Morbius.
time.
I'm
It's
excited to
Morbin
Morb.
time.
I haven't
So what are
seen Morbius.
So what's the schedule for Spooktober?
Spooktober.
Let's go in order from 1 to 5, and then 3, and then 4, and then 2.
1, 5, 3, 4, 2. Okay. Morbius is 1. 5, The Shining. 3 is going to be the one that we haven't mentioned yet, Cronenberg Videodrome.
Yes!
4 is going to be Birdemic 2, and number 2 is going to be the
I don't know his name.
Miyazaki,
Maya Hayazaki, Spirited Away. So in order, if we were to do it out of instead,
good
Morbius, Spirited Away, Videodrome,
Cinco.
Birdemic 2, The Shining. I almost said Schindler's List. To kick off Spooktober month. The Holocaust
kind
is
of
scary. Yeah.
And we're gonna watch all the movies in the dark.
In a row.
We should
one
watch them in
big
the dark.
mega 10-hour episode.
The Mega Chin!
But the Downtown Spook Boys are coming at you this month.
Downtown
we
Spook
will.
Boys.
Fuck you guys. I'm just gonna put 2
Space Sluts.
Oh, you motherfucker. You don't know any of the other ones, but Lucas does.
I know the romance.
I forget.
Romans or something.
Good. I'm glad you guys don't
There's
remember.
a
He
jingle
sent a
one.
list.
Yeah, there is a jingle one.
He sent me a list. I want to do the Lover Boys one to get the hearts
It's
out.
not Lover Boy.
Is it Romance Ruckus
No, it's
Enjoyers
no,
or
no.
something?
The Romance Ruckus Enjoyers?
Don't at me. End the podcast.
So we're gonna end it this week. We hope you enjoyed. Check out our YouTube. Subscribe to it. Check out our Discord. We're going to post both of these onto our Facebook and Instagram pages so that you have a link to get on. Discord, you can chat with us at any point. YouTube, you can watch the uncut video streams. Also, once again, Facebook, Instagram, tune into them. We're posting good content there. We posted some candid photos of our fucking bracket on there. Devin in his underwear has 2 photos out. Yeah,
Gotta
hanging
check into
brain.
that.
You have to show me
check
those. I don't
in
have
for
Instagram.
that. Oh, or Facebook.
Or Facebook.
So we got those out. Send Lucas some recipes. Fuck, Jesus Christ! How many times do I have to ask you? Send this man some recipes.
We have 0 recipes. Also, tell us how to leave a voice message on Anchor. I can't figure it out.
Devin and Kelly know how to, so contact them directly. If you
I don't
any
have a way to
questions.
contact either of them.
What are you talking? You do have a way to contact Devin.
Oh, you're
Like
right.
3 different ways.
I totally forgot. Anyway,
So, that's gonna end it this week. We hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next week. Hasta mañana, bitches.
Love you. Bye.
shout out Rat Boy. Gadoosh.
Fuck.
I'm so sorry. I'm gonna unplug it. You gotta go to bed.
I don't.
Well, I feel like you're tired.
I have the day off tomorrow.
Oh shit! I gotta be up at 10.
Guess it's time for some Champions of Norath then.
You don't say.
Don't tempt me.
Lucas, get out of here. I'm sorry for keeping you up.
That's what I love talking about Mel. You guys know that.
It's true. And we did talk about him marginally.
Lucas.
What's up?
Luke.
I work 11 to 9 Wednesday and Thursday this week.
Christ.
I don't know what Tuesday looks like for you with TV talk.
Probably
I know-
could do it on Tuesday.
Okay, I know that after 9 is pretty late for you, but I'm free anytime on Tuesday. So is Seth.
We could do some McDonald's shit.
Really don't want to shoehorn my way into your
Are
bonus
you
episodes.
sure you don't want to watch the wacky adventures of Ron